Holy shit! Fucking A! It's time for Fat Man Beyond. I'm Kevin Smith.
I am Marc Bernardin.
Hey! Uh-oh, something happened. Oh, I see. Started on my YouTube feed. Not only do I enjoy being in the show, Mark, I also enjoy watching the show.
You're living your life in a 5-second delay.
It's like the hair club for men, not just the president. I'm also a client. Kids, welcome back to the show. So much to talk about here on Fat Man Beyond this week. But Mark's going to say hi while I finish this post to the folks at home.
Yeah. So hey everybody. We're doing the show. I know that I teased the show every day for the last 8 days. But here we are.
That was my fault.
It's not anybody's fault, Kevin. It's our respect for the audience's fault.
I'll take the bullet though, because I got sensitive. I saw somebody on one of my timelines who was like, "Hey man, it's too soon to review the movie." So I was like, maybe we should wait a day. And then here we are on Monday. We felt like that was enough time. Anyone who gives a fuck about this sort of thing to the point where they would watch this show has probably gone out to see Superman the first week.
I mean, it was $125 million worth of Americans who went, and Canadians, to be fair, went out to go see it this weekend. So
anyone do the breakdown on how much came from Canada? Because I noticed people were very quick to be like, hey man, the foreign numbers were a little soft, and then quickly pointed out like Superman's big Americana figure of American icon, and maybe right now around the world, America, not the most polished brand it was or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, I mean,
so that was how they explained it being soft over there. But I don't know, thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, it made $125 million domestic and then $220 million global, which I think is higher than previous estimates were. But yeah, like Superman doesn't traditionally travel that well.
Is that right?
Yeah. Man of Steel, their foreign box office was only 57% of the global haul. Same thing with Bryan Singer's Superman Returns, which was 49% of the global was overseas, as opposed to some other movies, it can be 60, 70, 80% is all international grosses.
Look at Mark doing his homework.
Every now and again, I dig up the journalist gene. It's like, let's do a little research.
Kids, sorry we dove right into the episode with no working your nipples or anything like that. But we figured in the esprit de corps of Superman, we're just going to plop you into the middle, man. We got spoon feed you this shit no more. To be like, where this miracle baby came from? Another planet. Watch it die.
We know centuries ago.
We know that you fucking know the backstory, so we're just gonna dive in with Fat Man Beyond, man. Can't wait to talk about Superman. Can't wait to talk about Ironheart. Can't wait to talk about Jaws 2. That's right. You heard me. I may go hard. The hardest movie I may go for this week, the hardest anything, it may be for Jaws 2. I had an unbelievably good time, unbelievably good time watching Jaws 2. But that's a story for later.
I feel like this year in the 50th anniversary of Jaws, the truth was we all kind of reappraised Jaws 2.
You know what? I saw there's a subtle ad for my new comic Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob, which also came out this week. Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that later. I saw an article where they were like, people used to shit in Jaws 2's mouth, but now it's the best of all the Jaws sequels, they acknowledge and stuff. But even as a kid, you know what? We'll talk about Jaws 2 later. So much to do here today on Fat Man Beyond, kids. And before we do a damn thing, we got to pay them bills. So please give it up for our first sponsor of the evening. Which one we going with first?
Let's do Chubbies.
Kids, Chubbies. That's right. Chubbies. This episode of Fat Man Beyond sponsored by the good folks at Chubbies. You're like, wait, what? We'll follow along. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs in the pool, cookouts, or casual Fridays, Chubbies has you covered, man. They make clothes, damn comfortable clothes. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off your order with our code BEYOND, BEYOND, at chubbiesshorts.com, CHUBBIESSHORTS.com. That's code BEYOND at chubbiesshorts.com. Support our show and let them know we sent you, man. Summer's here. Dress like it in Chubbies. This Chubbies, man, they know how to cover a chubby, such as myself, man. Kids, I know a lot of people are like, oh, you lost a lot of weight after you went vegan. It just hangs, droops off me. I've said many times, I look like the old lady. Well, remember The Shining?
I
When
do.
Nicholson goes into the bathroom and there's a hot, sexy chick gets out of the tub and they start making out. And then all of a sudden he's like, what the fuck? And then he backs up and she's like, and she's all drooping and sagging and hanging. That's what I look like naked. So I could use something like Chubbies to keep that all together. Form fit, if you will. Make me look like a human again. And that's what Chubbies does, kids, man. Chubbies is comfort. Chubbies is freedom. Chubbies is cheap, but not cheap in quality, just cheap in price, right, Mark?
Indeed. I mean, fucking summer's here, which means it's officially time to let them dogs out. And by dogs, we mean thighs. Fucking thighs, man. If you've been stuck in jeans and sweats for the last few months, set them free with the Line Swim collection from Chubbies. Whether you're poolside, lakeside, or oceanside on that long-awaited vacation, these trunks are ready to travel. Too short life is for uncomfortable swim trunks, so let them babies are set up for all-day comfort with a quick dry stretch fabric and a built-in liner that actually does its job. No more chafing, no more soggy butt, no more mesh disasters. When the sun goes down, you're heading from the beach to dinner, swap into a pair of everywhere shorts. They fit right, feel right, and go with everything. After wearing them once, you'll find yourself wondering why you even own other shorts. Right?
You ain't kidding, kids. I'm sorry, I got lost in Mark's storytelling.
The magic of the thighs.
Yeah, sometimes I know I'm on the show with him and we're friends, but sometimes I just go, whoa. Sometimes I get a little starstruck because Mark really knows how to weave a tale, and he just wove a tale right in your face, neck, and chest, kids. And also, I'll be honest with you, I get lost watching the commercial. Like, it's so high end. They give us an ad to run while we're talking, and these kids look like they're having the time of their lives. These kids make me feel old, Mark.
I've never
Makes
had
me
that
feel
much
like
fun.
I'm wasting my chubby. I should be sticking my chubbies out there like them. Like, look at them living life, and me sitting in this fucking stagnant office. I want to live a chubby's life, Mark.
Uh-huh.
I think
Well,
I'm owed that much. Don't you want to live a chubby's life? As
yeah,
a
but for a
fan,
limited
I'm not
time.
talking to you, Bernard, and I know you fucking live a chubby's life already. I'm talking to that audience. Do you want to live a chubby's life? I'm going to do this like Superman's mom. Clark, do you want to live a chubby's life, kids? Go to chubbiesshorts.com, man. They got comfy ass clothes, comfy clothes, casual, built for life, man. You get yourself a performance polo, you get yourself some classic line swim trunks. Summer's here. Get dressed like it is the time of year it is. Put that on a fucking pamphlet.
Hell
That's
yeah.
marketing right there. Get dressed like the time of year that it is. Whether you're suiting up for cannonballs, cookouts, or casual Fridays, as we said at the beginning, Chubbies has you covered, man. For a limited time, Chubbies is giving our listeners 20% off. Don't you want that? 20% off your order with our code BEYOND, BEYOND, all caps, at chubbiesshorts.com. Chubbies, CHUBBIES, shorts, SHORTS.com. All one word, kids. That's the code is BEYOND at chubbiesshorts.com. Support our show, kids, and let them know that we sent you. Fat Man Beyond sent you. Summer's here. Dress like it in Chubbies.
Indeed.
We thank the good folks at Chubbies for sponsoring this here episode of Fat Man Beyond, where we're going to talk Superman, Ironheart. Did I hear somebody call me?
Yeah.
No, my wife talking to somebody else. All right, kids. Now that you know who's sponsoring the show, now you know who to thank for all this free entertainment and stuff. Now we can dive into things. How are you, Captain?
I'm doing really well, man. I'm doing really well. We are now what, T minus 8 days until San Diego Comic Con, which feels like a dream.
Hi, puppies. Yeah, it's coming up fast, kids. You can't stop San Diego Comic Con. And I got an announcement early in the show.
Yo, fuck it, let's do it.
Of course, I will be at San Diego Comic Con this year. Hello, Wacky. Hello, Birdie. The German Shepherds have joined us. They've entered the chat. No, of course, I'll be at San Diego. I will be there on Thursday night doing a show at Good Night John Boy. That was the night we were supposed to be doing Fat Man Beyond, but I'm in rehearsals on Thursday night for Friday panels. I am hosting 2 panels on Friday for Disney. One is Predator Badlands.
Ooh.
And the other is Tron Ares. Now, granted, since I'm speaking at the panels and whatnot, I'm sure people will discount this, but because I'm speaking on the panels, I got to see a bunch of stuff. I saw all of Predator Badlands, but it's unfinished and whatnot because they don't come out till November. But you can watch the damn movie from end to end. Like, fucking wonderful. Like, it's Dan Trachtenberg, same guy did Prey, cartoon, but the trailer's out there. You can see the Predator Badlands trailer. It's been out there for a second and stuff, and they're releasing another trailer pretty soon, I think. But it was fucking dope, man. So I'm doing a panel for that, and then today I went to Disney and we walked through the 2 panels, and I'm doing a panel for Tron Ares as well, and they showed me a bunch of fucking footage. Holy shit. Like, they may have finally gotten me to give a fuck about a Tron movie, man. It took them a long time to be like, let's just bring that into the real world. It looks fucking dope. I mean, I think there is a teaser trailer out there already, but they showed me a bunch of shit that we're going to be showing on the panels and whatnot. First thing, when it was done, I was like, my God, that looks expensive. Like, it's a huge movie, man. And the panel's got a bunch of people in the flick. The Predator panel, I think I don't know if I'm allowed to say who's there, but I think they announced the panels and the panelists already. So go look at that just in case. I don't want to yell that by Mickey Mouse. But holy shit. I look forward to going to San Diego and emceeing the panels. And I can't tell you what's going to happen at the panels, but let me tell you something. These cats don't fuck around, man.
Can I guess?
Nope. No, I don't want to get in trouble. Fucking, I want to go. I want to do this.
Is Jared Leto going to have a dead light cycle on the stage?
I bet you somewhere at that con there's probably a life cycle showing up. Because I don't know if you've seen the teaser, but like, all that shit's real. It all happens in the real world. Like, so smart. Like,
that's when they had
Tron comes to Earth and shit.
I was like, because I saw Tron Legacy, and the weird vestigial love that I had for the 80s original was not quite enough to get me on board for Tron Legacy. But then we're in the real world now? Fuck it. Now you have my money. Now you have my interest.
It's crazy. I mean, I'm not saying it's a formula by any stretch of the imagination, but they're doing the same thing with Alien. We're like, now it's on Earth. And I'm like, oh shit, I had no idea I cared so much. Now I'm involved. It could happen to me. Like, I become personally invested. Good times ahead. So at San Diego, that's what I'm doing Friday. Then I got some shows Friday night. I think I'm doing Babylon with Ralph. Then I'm doing a panel on Saturday.
Indeed.
I'm hosting, emceeing, if you will, Mark's panel. What is the panel called? Tell him.
Panel is called Making Maverick Media, Creating Art Outside the System.
Making Maverick Media is a lot of alliteration.
I mean, that's what we went for.
No doubt. The Stan Lee School of Writing. Who's on this panel?
Well, I am on this panel, as is Tiffany Smith, talking about
we know her.
Darkest. Cheyenne Uwulu is on this panel. She's the star and showrunner of a a TV series called The Comic Shop, which she went a Kickstarter for. And then Carla Reyes is on this panel, who is a game designer, um, who is in the process of making what sounds like an incredibly interesting and oh so timely game called Take Us North, sort of about the migrant experience. She's sort of gamified what it's like to try to cross the border.
Fucking
Um,
A.
yeah, and so we're all going to be talking about skirting the system, Kickstarter, crowdfunding, indie kind of metal, a little bit of just what it's like to try and do this shit without the support of a studio or a label or a company behind us. And we figured who's the best fucking moderator for that kind of thing? Captain Chaos right here.
Are you going to sit me down for 2 separate meetings and do a rehearsal like the good folks at Disney? Let me tell you how fucking impressed I am by these kids. Like, the amount of time, thought, effort, like, and marketing and dollars, like, to go into their presentation. And like I said, kids, sometimes you can just put a trailer out. People will show up. If a movie looks good, they're like, "This is Comic-Con. Like, this is Hall H." We're facing a room of this, and they're like, "We got to turn it into this." And boy, they put in a lot of effort, man. They really give a fuck. So, where's your version of that? Is all I'm asking.
I'm pretty sure I've sent you like 3 or 4 texts about it.
Yeah, that's about it. You better send me people's names, spellings, pronunciations, phonetics, fucking everything, man. These Disney people, they prepare you with an inch of your life.
There's a dossier on its way to
Thank
you.
the Lord. So I do a panel with Mark. I get to moderate Mark. Mm-hmm. So even though we don't get to do Fat Man Beyond, we are doing Fat Man Beyond after. Now, should we? Hey, Banff Man, jump in here. We need you.
Yep. Banff.
Hey, it's Banff Man. Give it up for Banff Man. Father of many.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What can we do a show? What would be a good day to do a show in the cantina after Comic-Con? Monday or Tuesday?
Let me look. Like right Tuesday after Comic-Con?
Yeah, like you figure everyone travels on Sunday, right? So like maybe you definitely don't do Sunday. But maybe Tuesday or Monday?
Tuesday the 29th would probably.
How's that feel?
Let's see. Monday too, either of those days.
So let's pick one of those days for the end of the show. Get that motherfucker up on sale for a live show, live Fat Man Beyond at the cantina, the way you like it. This is how you like it. And don't be those fucking jerks that are like, I wish the studios make original films. And then we make Elios or whatever the fuck it's called. And you're like, I ain't seeing that. You wanted a show at the cantina. We're doing a show at the cantina. So you better fucking sell it out like that. We will be covering Comic-Con in conclusion. Like, our wrap up, aftermath and shit. Drinking, blue milks, getting drunk and being honest. That's what you want from Fat Man Beyond. That's going to happen either Monday or Tuesday right after Comic-Con. Which day is better?
I think we'll do Tuesday. Tuesday the 29th.
Yeah. There it is. Tuesday the 29th?
Yeah, I'll get tickets up during the show and we'll
tickets when Banff Man disappears again, he's going to get the link up. So by the end of the show, a link will be there and stuff. So after Comic-Con, if you're in the area, come see us at the cantina. But meanwhile, at Comic-Con on Saturday, I've got Mark's panel. Mm-hmm. Then I'm doing my Hall H panel. Not following Marvel, no Marvel this year. So I don't know who I'm following and stuff, which means that like nobody may show up whatsoever. Hey, if you want a seat, there's going to be plenty. Hall H Q&A. I don't really have anything new to announce and shit, but I'm just probably going to sit up there and Q&A. That's what I do anyway. I will bring a cartoon. There's Banff.
Did you guys see that George Lucas is going to Comic-Con for the first time ever?
I did see that. He's going to be there on Sunday. I will be driving home late Saturday night, so I'm going to miss that. Yeah, he's on a panel with Guillermo.
And Deb Chang. from
And also, fucking, they're announcing what's this thing called? Like fucking the museum of.
The museum. Did I
Lucas
ever?
and Howard
Where is it? That looks amazing. Where
It's
is it physically?
down by the Coliseum by USC.
Yeah, it's an exposition park, I think.
Yeah.
It says
So will
downtown.
I see it if I fly into LAX? Because I see
Mm,
the. What'd you say it was near the first thing?
the
Oh,
Coliseum, California Science Center, USC, soccer stadium.
yeah, I don't know if it'll be. I mean, it looks like a spaceship. I don't know how big the footprint is, so I don't know if you
Gotta
can
be
see
fucking
where you can see
huge. Every
social.
picture I see of
It's
it looks
big. I
massive.
mean, it's
Yeah.
big. It's longer than this Coliseum is.
Regardless, yeah, Lucas is going to be a Comic-Con. Johnny come lately. Fucking wannabe.
Oh yeah.
Fucking what do they call that shit? Poser.
I
Who's it?
He can. You know what's going to be weird for him is like, look what I wrought.
I'm sorry.
Look what I did. Oh God.
the
It's on Sunday. But I ain't involved in that fucking panel. But you're right. He is going Comic-Con.
Queen Latifah is moderating that
oh
panel.
yeah.
That's right. Queen
Yeah, yeah.
Latifah's moderating that panel. They wanted somebody from New Jersey. And I said, I'm busy. I'm doing Predator and Tron. So you're going to have to find somebody else. I
You
suggested Queen Latifah.
you were like,
Springsteen won't come.
Yes.
I'm doing the Disney panel. He's like, not Kevin Smith if he's doing the Disney panel.
Yeah. Sorry. You're off the list. I was like, ooh. So there's a bunch of places to see me at Comic-Con, kids. You go to csmod.com and get tickets for any of the shows. I think the Babylon show is almost sold out. Me and Jay are doing a show. I think that's the one on Thursday night. That is we're gonna read the Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob comic aloud and use people from the audience. Man, you could wind up playing Archie if you come to the show. This book in stores now, kids, over 50 different covers from comic book stores across the country and stuff. Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash has its own special cover. Smodcastle Cinemas has its own special cover. And comic book stores across the country made a bunch of different covers. But the guts are the same. And at that show, we're going to read it, like aloud, perform it and stuff. We do that on the road with the Oral Sex Tour. We read the Quick Stops script for the Metatron issue that's coming out this fall. So that's going on there. And then after Comic-Con, kids, I'm headed back east for my birthday. I turned 55 this year, double nickels. And so August 1st, I'm in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, doing a Dogma screening and show. Then August 2nd, I'm doing a show at Smodcastle Cinemas, sold out. We're shooting it. I don't know why I do this, as if anybody does this shit anymore. For a stand-up special. And then on Sunday, August 3rd, we're doing a signing at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash for this book, as well as the Marvel book, is Amazing Spider-Man, Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man, which I did a 15-pager for, and the first issue of Quick Stops, Volume 3, Issue 1, which will be out at the same time. So August 3rd, big signing at the Stash. Tickets available now. And then that night, I go do the very first time and last time ever, Beardless Dickless Me, the podcast that I do with Harley. We're doing that at Smodcastle Cinemas at my movie theater. And after that, we're watching Yoga Hosers, an 11 o'clock show. So if you're like, I want to see him, you can go see me in San Diego at Comic-Con bunch this week, 2 weekends from now. And if you're on the East Coast, you're like, I'm making it to Comic-Con. Come see me at Smodcastle Cinemas, kids. What about you?
Let's see. My Comic-Con businesses are Thursday. I'm on a panel called the Blurred Panel, where we Q&A with a bunch of other professional brown and
Can I be on? Oh,
I mean, listen, man, you're from Jersey, so you get a pass for almost all things. So it's Thursday,
I
Friday.
get a pass because I could dance like the Fat Albert kids.
Oh, hell yeah.
Remember that? He had one move. This was Rudy.
My favorite is like every cartoon as a kid who had dancing, every person had one dance, and that's all they ever did. We got one animation cycle for Schroeder. We got one animation cycle for Pigpen.
This is the Brady kids playing guitar.
On Friday, I'm on 2 comic book panels. I'm on Comics in Hollywood at 3:30, I think, on Friday. And then I'm moderating a panel about writing comics just after that at 4 o'clock. And then Saturday, I'm on a Inside the Writers Room panel with a bunch of other TV writers at like 10 a.m. And then making Maverick Media.
We got a busy Comic-Con coming up.
Fucking busy, man. Like they don't let me rest.
One year I'm gonna go and just go.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Yeah, like no, I ain't bitching because I don't want anyone to think that this shit irritates me. I love it to death. But I'm rarely do I not have things to do down Comic-Con. It's a wonderful problem to have. It's not even a problem. But one day everyone pop culture will get tired of me. I mean, they're fucking already overtired of me and shit. But one day I won't be front and center. And then I imagine when I'm going to Comic-Con, I'll be like, oh, I remember when they gave a fuck. So
do you think that you would have
my
to
Harry Chapin Carpenter, my Harry Chapin song, Mark. And the cat's in the cradle at the Comic-Con. Little
blue with a mask on.
Fucking A, look at that shit. We're like Lennon and McCartney, even though they didn't do that song.
What do you think? Should it be a little bit of a skiffle?
Like that.
Do you think you would have to wear a mask if you went to the Comic-Con?
I used to just be able to take off my hockey jersey and then disappear like an invisibility cloak, like Harry Potter and shit. But I stopped wearing the hockey jersey. I guess if I like didn't wear a hat and wore fatigues, like I never wear army fatigues. So if I wore like fucking a combat jacket and shit, no hat, you wouldn't, and you'd be like, oh, this fucking he looks like a Kevin Smith fan, and you'd be right.
Yeah, like if you shaved and wore fatigues,
shaving as well, but I'm not willing to go that far.
Let's not get nuts.
Yeah. Oh my god. Fucking. They gotta pay me to take this off, Mark. I'm like the guy. I'm like the dude in Creep Show 2. Paraphrasing. This beard's gonna get me paid and laid
in the shade.
He was talking about his hair. I'm talking about this hair, facial hair, which my beard continues to gentrify. Look at all these whites moving in, ruining the neighborhood and shit. Just
dude, I've given up. It's gonna be.
Yeah, but it looks good on you. I'm Peter Pan. I'm Mr. Eternal Youth. Look at me with my backwards baseball cap and my childish outfits. I can't afford to have fucking white hairs in this fucking face. I got a brand.
I've been old since I was 38 years old.
Yeah, you're like Steve Martin. As long as I've been alive, you've had white hair. That's the move. I wish I had thought of that early on. 2 things I wish I'd thought of. Get white hair like Steve Martin so that like when you get old, people are just like, I don't know, he's always been white hair. Mm-hmm. And do the Kiss makeup, because then they never know how old you are.
No, yeah. Gene Simmons is 87 years old, but
imagine if I had done that, if I'd been the only director who face painted and shit like that.
What is he doing? Like, he's got a process.
No, like that's his thing. He treats it kind of like filmmaking, kind of like cinema, but also kind of like, I don't know, wrestling to some degree.
It's like Kabuki Man, the director. He's just going for
it. He feels most comfortable, fucking in full face paint, directing.
Are you going to tell him no?
What looked really good on this fucking tease for what everyone's waiting for, us to talk about Superman. Mr. Terrific's mask. Never mind how wonderful Mr. Terrific is from end to end. And it's like, can I have a whole fucking movie and or series with him now, please?
Yeah.
But the mask looked fucking dope.
We'll get into Superman quite a bit later, but the level of commitment to what could be ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because that could be a ridiculous outfit if you don't just fucking go for it. Just lean into it. It's got the fucking T. It's like raised plastic on his face. Why? Don't ask.
Why? Because he's goddamn Mr. Terrific.
Because he can. Because he plays fair. He's Mr. Fair Play.
Fair play. On the ship as well. I always loved that in JSA that it was on his sleeves, on his jacket. But he put it on the T craft as well.
Yeah.
Fair play. What does that mean, Mark? Define fair play.
I do not know what it means in the context of Mr. Terrific. I just think it's kind of dope.
It is, but in the I mean, it can't mean anything more than what it is. Just, hey, man, fair play. Like, seriously, while we're here, I'm not going to AI this shit, but I will Google.
Yeah, what does it mean in the world of Mr. Terrific, the fair play?
What does Mr. Terrific fair play mean to you? No, just me.
To you, Internet.
The motto fair play embodies his commitment to justice, equality, and helping those in need. Game Facts says somebody asked, why does Mr. Terrific's jacket say fair play? My family took me to see an Alex Ross exhibit at a nearby museum, and a JSA painting, and pointed Terrific out to my dad. Since my uncle went as a superhero, he thought he made up, called Mr. Terrific for Halloween. My dad asked why his jacket said fair play, and I had to tell him I didn't know. Black Adam responded 13 years ago. Welcome to the past, kids. He takes it from the original Mr. Terrific, Terry Sloan, who used it as his mantra. According to Jay Garrick, Sloan disliked that he was born with so many advantages in life while so many lacked. He expected the world to treat people equally and hated that it did not. The world wasn't fair, so he would make it fair.
All right.
And then Fine Kenshi 13 years ago said, yep, the exact same quote was used in Mr. Terrific's 52, the comic origin story as well. So there it is. But I've always loved that fucking jacket, like, and just wearing it loud and proud.
Yeah.
The mask, the jacket. Anyway, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
Now, first, we're going to talk about Jaws 2. No, we'll get there. Because I see some people going, I want to go to bed, talk about fucking Superman. We will. And I guess we can.
Yeah, or should we do Ironheart first? Ironheart is the older business.
I'm happy to talk about Ironheart, man. I enjoyed the fuck out of Ironheart. And I know there were a bunch of people like, you're a fucking cock, get Disney's fucking whatever out of here, fucking whatever. Not at all. Like, they don't fucking pay me to watch Ironheart. I enjoyed watching Ironheart, and I especially enjoyed like what happened at the end of Ironheart, man. The thing that they've been telling us for years was about to happen. He's coming. Oh, he's gonna watch. He's gonna be the bad guy, and he wasn't. Oh, watch. He's gonna be the bad guy, and he wasn't. Oh, watch. He's gonna be the bad guy, and he was.
Kinda.
He showed up, and fucking like we got to see what that looked like. So, spoilers, kids, if you haven't seen Ironheart, they put up 3 and then the other 3. It's a pretty quick watch. I enjoyed it just because I think it's a well-told story. I enjoyed it. But I enjoyed seeing a practical suit again instead of all these nanites and nanobots and shit like that. I thought it was weird and interesting to be like, let's bring magic into this. Never, would have thought that because it's so much about tech, but there it is. I thought the performances across the boards were like really great. And particularly, when fucking Sacha Baron Cohen comes in and just dines on everything in sight. Thought it was well shot. Love the organic titles. Some people were like, her character arc, blah, blah, blah. I'm not saying it's perfect, but I didn't bump into any of that shit. I enjoyed just seeing an iron suit flying around doing some shit. I like the plot that they hung it on. And I was shocked as shit that they fucking delivered Mephisto. Not only that, but was shocked as shit that they had her make the choice she made at the end. Like, I loved her, AI friend. Like, not just the idea of it, because in comics, of course, we had like Tony Stark as the AI.
Right.
That ain't going to happen in this world. Tony Stark's dead. So having it be her, spoilers, her friend who was like killed, I thought that was great. Scanned right out of her brain. I thought that actress was wonderful who played her buddy.
Yeah, she was on This Is Us. Lyric Ross, I think.
Is that right?
Yeah. where she played one of the Pearson kids.
She was a discovery to me, man. But that storyline I really enjoyed. So at the end of it, what's implied is she made a deal with Mephisto to bring her friend back to life, which, like, for everybody who was like, oh, fucking she and Iron Man, a lot of people online got mad because a character like Riri goes like, oh, Tony Stark, he just had money. And a bunch of people got shitty about it. Like, Tony Stark's a fucking hero. It's like, come on, man. It's just a line in a thing. It's not disrespecting you or the memory of Tony Stark. Doesn't change the fact that Tony Stark saved us all and shit. But having her make, spoilers again, make the choice to like, all right, I'll sell my soul and bring my friend back. I didn't see that shit coming on. I thought that was metal as fuck, man. Like, that's a hero. That's a motherfucking hero who just made a deal with the devil. Like, that is some interesting fucking storytelling. And there's a shot that we all saw later on the internet. I didn't see when it was happening on the show, but where the hood is now on her Ironheart suit. Like, that's bold, like, storytelling. It would be one thing if she faced Mephisto and he was like, I'm a real prick, and she's like, we'll meet again. But fucking, like, she goes home and her dead friend is there and she can actually hug her and she's not an AI program. And you're like, and they go credits, and I said, that's fucking nuts. It's a Disney program, at the end of which somebody's like, yeah, I sold my soul to Satan. Hats off. Hats off. That's edgy. I mean, to borrow from Superman, it's pretty punk rock. Say what you will. Everyone going after the people that went after the storytelling, or for one reason or another. Show me that's some Faustian shit. Like, that was a satisfying ending to me that I did not see coming. Never in a million years did I think Kevin Feige would sign off on, like, she can sell her soul. Now, granted, I'm sure they're going to fix that.
Right.
It's not like they're going to let her burn for all eternity and shit. But, they've just set themselves up for more interesting storytelling. So I was duly impressed. I enjoyed. And I thought that was a wonderful fucking twist that I never would have guessed. If you asked me to lay money on it, I've been like, yeah, like, Disney Plus is going to let the fucking show with a hero in it end by her selling her soul to fucking Satan. And they did. Marvel's version of Satan, but fucking still. Yeah. So I enjoyed the shit out of it, man. Thought it was well made. Thought the effects were fucking good and shit. And I'm sure somebody out there will shred me for it, but I liked it. Fucking, I'm already paying for Disney Plus and shit, and that was one of those times where I was like, good. I got my money's worth.
Yeah, I mean, I landed, I think, in a similar place as you did. I didn't quite sink in with the show at the beginning. Like, there was, it felt like it was just taking a little bit too long to get where it was going. But once the middle episode, like, I think it's 3 or 4 drops, where Riri goes to them and her mom go to, like, the magic coffee shop, and they introduce magic into the world, and suddenly I was like, oh shit, this is cool. Like, this is not what I expected this show to be, not where I expected it to go. And suddenly kind of cracked it open for me a little bit. And there's a sequence, probably in episode 4, if I remember correctly, where, so much of the show is about Riri unwilling to interrogate her own past, unwilling to live in the reality of the death of her dad and her best friend, and what that moment was like in her life, and how she closed her heart off to the past because it hurt too much. But there's that moment where it's this hologram reenactment of just a little moment with her dad, and it was beautiful. And it's like, oh, you know what? This is the scene that these writers wanted to make a show to get to give you, right? Which is just a girl kind of looking back at her past and remembering how awesome it was, while also dealing with how bad it was. The one question I have is, I thought that ending was really brave. I didn't think they were going to do that, because, to your point, you don't let your Disney heroine, fucking decide to go dark.
You only get away with that because the culture is now well educated, and comic book films, like and comic book media and comic book TV shows and stuff like that. Because we're so far flung from, like, the first Superman movie just had Superman and Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor didn't even look weird. He looked like a normal ass guy. Because people were like, I don't know if they can handle more than one concept at a time, man. And Superman is a pretty weird concept. That's circa 70s. Now they're like, oh, we can fucking have her sell her soul, set it up that way, literally tell that story, and the audience ain't gonna like be writing letters and be like, what? They're gonna be like, oh, that's a problem they're gonna have to fix. That means there's a story coming from that. That's impressive. It's impressive that Disney like okayed that. It's impressive that Kevin Feige okayed that, but it makes sense because it's like there's so much storytelling fodder they can pull from that.
Yeah. I mean, my one question is, are we going to get more story with Riri Williams? Like, are they going to get to pay this off?
I think it seemed like after, while the show was happening, there's people were dropping hate bombs and review bombs and stuff like that. And they went after what's the girl's name? Dominique
Thorne. Yeah.
Thorne. But since then, like, because of the twist and because of the, like, look at the hood and the background, I'm not going to say like the whole world turned around, but it didn't. It didn't, like, people seem to go for the twist as well. Like, a lot of people's complaints were like, it's boring, too long, fuck, not enough happens. She's out of character for a lot of it, especially compared to her character in Wakanda Forever or whatnot. I mean, I'm not arguing any of those. I'm not saying you're all wrong. But for me, I didn't bump into any of that shit. And it really delivered at the end when they were like, she just sold her soul. Like, that's nuts to me. That's nuts that it happened on a Disney program. Yeah. And I'm not saying like, so leave it alone. They don't need me to defend it. But if somebody had sold me that story in the beginning, I would have been very excited to watch the whole thing. Like, no way. Are they really going to fucking let her do that? Like, here comes the dark universe, man. Here comes, like, we had death in Agatha all along. Mm-hmm. And now we've got Mephisto. And, there's that one shot in The Spoon where red face and the yellow eyes and shit, like he looked comics accurate if you freeze it and stuff. Mm-hmm. And there's, I'm happy to see those see him laying supernatural cards on the table. Not like they haven't done, they did like Werewolf by Night and shit like that. But I'm talking about, like, Mephisto's a great fucking character, always has been. I wrote him into my Daredevil run back in the day because, just like fucking Lucifer and shit, you get to do things with him and like do those shady deals where people think they're getting the thing they want, but they don't and whatnot. And plus, just the notion, once you bring in the devil, even Marvel Devil, that means you're into like heaven and hell shit, and we've been to the multiverse a bunch of times, but I'd love to go to Marvel's version of hell. And I think we'll probably get there, man, because it sounds like they're getting ready to do fucking Ghost Rider. If you're bringing Mephisto in, and he teased some stuff about like being very busy lately, that means we're probably going to get a new Ghost Rider, and that's like one step closer to like Marvel's version of hell. We've seen DC's version of hell in the Sandman, brought to life. I would love to see what Marvel's fucking version of hell looks like.
Yeah. I mean, the only question I have is, looking at the road that they've set before themselves, there's not a ton of room. Like, I don't know where the Mephisto story pays off in. It definitely won't pay off in Fantastic Four. It's probably not going to pay off in either the two Avengers movies we're going to get.
Why not? Why couldn't Ironheart pop up in one of the Avengers movies?
I mean, they could, but this story's not about her.
Totally, but it sounds like we're getting a fuck ton of people. So it's like, why not let Riri be one of them?
But it's like, how much real
estate? Don't take this away from me, Mark. I was really expecting to see her in both new Avengers movies.
You might. I'm not saying that you won't. It's just like Secret Wars is going to have everybody. So how much real estate do you have to tell the Riri Williams is now sold her soul to the devil, and here's the repercussions of that in a real, like, I want a season 2 of Ironheart, or don't.
Now, how were the I mean, do they rate or whatever? Did they get enough eyeballs watching the show?
I honestly I don't know what their metrics are. I don't know. I don't think it did so demonstrably well that it was a knockout smash. I don't think it did so poorly that it was we're canceling this quiet. But I don't know what their metrics are. I don't know what their thresholds are for success. So yeah, maybe we'll get season 2. That'd be great. But if we don't get a season 2, then it's just sort of another weird neutered post-credit or ending thread, like Charlize Theron showing up as Clea at the end of Doctor Strange 2. We never saw any more of that story. Okay, all right. So I just hope that we get to fulfill the promise of what the ending of Ironheart was.
I wonder if I had to guess, I would imagine it picked up more viewers after it ended. They did a 3-3 drop, but I do feel like, and I have nothing to base this on, but maybe it's just my timeline, but like I started seeing more stories about the ending of Ironheart, like for a longer period of time than I would have imagined I would have seen it in my timeline. Like it keeps popping up, and maybe that's because I've clicked on one or two, but you know, if that wasn't a thing, that story would have died out, and it keeps popping up, I think, because it's kind of interesting and stuff. So maybe they pick up more viewers, and maybe they get to do it again. But this has been delayed for years, right? They shot this like pre-pandemic or not pre-pandemic, but like 3 years ago or something.
Yeah, it was either like during the pandemic or just after, definitely before the strikes. But
so after Wakanda Forever, like they finished that and then
yeah,
headed into this.
Yeah,
so it took a minute to come out, but I mean, it was, you know, I enjoyed that hell out of
yeah, yeah.
Mephisto.
Mephisto. The long-awaited Mephisto.
It was hella good. So a lot of people in chat pointing out, like we've seen a fiery universe in She-Hulk, or somebody. Oh, Hela. We saw Hela's version of Hell and Thor. So I am humbly rebuked, but I'm talking about traditional, good old Catholic hell, kids. That's what I'm in it for. As the guy who made Dogma, you might imagine that I'd be very interested in that kind of thing.
Yeah, and there's also the world in which, you know, if they ever get Blade on track.
Oh, fuck yeah. There's another goddamn like hell movie.
Yeah. So like there was a world in which the Midnight Suns could have been real. And so you get your Johnny Blaze, you get your fucking, you know, your possessed soul selling Riri, you know, fucking Blade. You get your supernatural version of this. You get your horror version of this. But without Blade, I don't know if you get that going.
In chat, Doubt Barisha said Ironheart was the 5th most streamed series in the US from June 30th to July 6th, according to TV Vision and their 40 million subscribers. So I don't know if that helps. Netheads Will Wilkins jumped into chat to say the filming of the Disney Plus series Ironheart began in 2022, with production primarily taking place at Trilla Studios. The series experienced delays, including those caused by the strikes. There it is.
There it is.
Fucking Riri could defeat Mephisto, but she couldn't defeat the strikes, man. Midnight Suns, the sci-fi extremist says, I almost think a Midnight Suns movie would be better than individual Blade, Ghost Rider, etc. I ain't fighting that. Midnight Suns would be a hot concept. Pun intended.
Pun completely intended.
All right, man. Let's so Ironheart, we're done with.
We're done with.
But I don't think Ironheart's done with us, Mark.
Fingers crossed.
Let's soar,
Bamf.
shall we? Oh, Bamf man, what up?
Should we hit our second deal?
That guy.
There's a producer. 2,000 people watching the show. Hello, kids. I swear we're getting to the Superman chit chat. But before we do that, we just like to take a moment to give some love to our sponsor, man. And who is that sponsor? As you can tell, I'm fumbling around. There it is. Mando, kids. Super Mando, for heaven's sakes, in honor of the movie that's now out in theaters. That's me saying it, not them, man. What are we talking about? I'm telling you right now, kids, you want to go to shopmando.com. Mando starter pack is perfect for new customers, man. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like mini body wash and deodorant wipes. Those deodorant wipes I used all while I was on tour with the Dogma the Resurrection tour, man. Sometimes I was doing this shit in the parking lot before a screening, and they
Horse bath in it.
Horse bath in it, which I'm sure fucking Mando loves us to say. And free shipping, kids. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide, man, with our exclusive code. Use the code FATMAN, FATMAN, at shopmando.com, shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. Shopmando.com. Please support our show. Tell them we sent you. Mando's got you covered. Protect your pits. Smells great doing it. We love Mando. Mando loves us because they keep putting ads on the show. So thank you to good folks at Mando, man. Super Mando, I call them.
Hell yeah.
What do you think, Mark? Tell us about Mando.
I mean, listen, man, fucking summer's coming in hot. Literally. What does that mean? More sweat, more heat, more potential for you to just fucking raise a bit of a stink. And you got to be prepared for that shit, man, because you can't go into the brunches, you can't go to the barbecues, you can't go to the pool parties or the beach soirees if you're going to smell like a goddamn fucking sewer urchin. So you know what you got to do? Mando. So one thing I'm not messing around with this summer, it's my deodorant, it's my smell. And Mando deodorant plus sweat control, built for the season. Blocks odors all day. All day, chef, all day. Controls your sweat too. Powerful on your pits, gentle on your skin. Like a fucking baby's kiss that smells great. And it's not your typical drugstore slick, man. It's a high-performance pit shield. It's shield. My favorite kind of shield other than, the Nick Fury shield. Yeah. Created by a doctor who saw firsthand how normal body odor was being misdiagnosed and mistreated. It's clinically proven to block odor all day, control odor for up to 72 hours. How you get that shit? Solid deodorant stick, formulated and powered by mandelic acid. I don't think it has anything to do with Nelson Mandela, but we can't be certain it doesn't. To stop odor before it starts.
It's the Mandelic effect, Mark.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Spray deodorant, aluminum-free and ideal for hard-to-reach places. Baking soda-free, paraben-free. They got a variety of fresh scents like bourbon leather, clover woods, Mount Fuji, or Pro Sport. It will control odor better than just with a shower with soap alone. 12 hours after a shower, your grundle odor level can be like 5 out of 10, but with Mando, keep that grundle odor down to a 0, man. Fucking 0.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty great.
Want to try America's #1 whole body deodorant formula right now, man? You can find them right now in Walmart, Target, and other retailers across the country. For the best deals, go to shopmando.com. shopmando.com, kids. The starter pack, Mando starter pack, is perfect for new customers. Comes with a solid stick deodorant, comes with cream tube deodorant, comes with 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash or the deodorant wipes, which I wholeheartedly recommend. I use the deodorant wipes and shit, and they work, man, like crazy. And free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 20% off site-wide with our exclusive code. Use the code FATMAN, FATMAN, at shopmando.com for 20% off site-wide and free shipping. Shopmando.com, shopmando.com. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you, man. Mando's got you covered, kids. Protect your pits. Smell great doing it. We thank the good folks at Mando for sponsoring this here episode, this portion of the episode of Fat Man Beyond, the portion of the episode where we finally get to the meat and potatoes. What y'all been waiting for, kids. We're here to talk about Superman. Was he faster than a speeding bullet, or are we talking about an empty gun with 2 ends? Thank you. I could have been fucking Don Draper in another life.
That's what the money is for.
Oh, I love that line. That's what the money's for. You never say thank you. That's what the money's for. All right, man. Speaking of a Superman, because that dude could have easily in another life played Superman. John Hamm. He's got that build and shit. Let's talk about Superman, kids.
Let's do it.
James Gunn's Superman came out last weekend, did a lot of business. The people going into it were putting pressure on it, like, he's got to save Warner Brothers and shit. I don't know why, because I went to see that movie. I didn't see a damn thing about Warner Brothers. Ain't no Warner Brothers shield the front of that movie. That's a DC Studios movie, son.
DC Bullet.
Yeah. Well, not the bullet, right? It's fucking Superman busting his chains and shit. That's
No, but they did have the bullet. There's
is that how it ends? It ends
Yeah.
with the bullet.
Yeah.
It is crazy that there was no Warner Brothers shield at the
The
time.
water tower.
But there it is. I mean, DC Studios is its own thing. And that has been the idea. Hey, man, we got a studio. We're doing it right this time. We figured it out and shit and one plan. And this is meant to be the kickoff flick, you know, if you don't count what do they call the cartoon?
Creature Commandos.
Creature Commandos.
Or Peacemaker.
Or Peacemaker, which was technically, you know, over in Snyderverse, because that had a lot of Snyderverse guest stars, but somehow this season is going to explain how it's also in this current DCU and whatnot. That'll be interesting.
Because he does have a cameo. Spoilers.
Who's got a cameo?
I mean, John Cena is in this movie as Peacemaker. So they are straddling the worlds.
I wonder if that means if Superman will pop up on Peacemaker.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did.
Smart money says it does. So there was some pressure there, and the pressure was handled wonderfully. James Gunn and crew went out and sold the shit out of this movie. Couldn't get them out of my timeline. Fuck the Superman. You know, that's what you get for clicking on every Superman thing you see. And they were rewarded with a pretty wonderful opening and stuff. Now, I didn't go in thinking about that shit. I don't care about the fucking whether Warner Brothers does well or not. I have no stock in the studio. I mean, I hope they live forever and shit. They've always been around as long as I've been alive. But I had no skin in the game that way. I mean, they didn't invite us to a premiere or give us a free screening or nothing like that, man. I ain't in nobody's fucking pocket. So I got to go see this movie, just pay for it out of my own fucking wallet and go enjoy it and shit like that without any of the, this better save Warner Brothers. So I went in with, I wouldn't say low expectations. James Gunn, I like him as a filmmaker very much. I've loved those Guardians of the Galaxy movies he did. And so I was looking forward to this in a big, bad way. So I went in with no agenda, and fuck, did I have a good time at the movies, man. That is a summer movie, kids. The way I want a summer movie to be done. I'm not saying that's the way every summer movie should be done, but fuck, I could say worse things. But for me, what a perfect summer movie this is. I am a comic book fan, have been my whole life. And so I, you know, can go with any variation of storytelling because I've seen lots of different creatives handle my favorite characters. So I remember being a kid and being like, man, I wish someone would do a serious movie of this shit. Why won't someone treat this shit serious like the way I read it? And then one day that happened. Snyderverse treated this shit very seriously. Even prior to that, Watchmen and stuff. So I've been there for every permutation. I love when Superman is Dick Donner's version. I loved Superman and Zack Snyder's version. I love Brandon Routh. I've loved the TV versions that they've done. And so I'm a Superman person. You know, at one point, as we maybe do not know, years ago, I wrote a Superman movie for Warner Brothers and shit. I was on the teat back in those days, but not no more. Now I suck my own teat, God damn it. So I went in just looking to be entertained, and fuck, was I entertained. That is a comic book movie, kids. As a comic book movie gets. It drops you into the middle of a story and goes, you know what? They'll catch up. Like they know the world enough at this point. They've heard these characters before, even though this is the first stab that this particular, you know, incarnation is going at the DCU. We've seen Superman before, so they ain't going to take you to Krypton and watch it blow up again. They ain't going to show you the rocket and all that shit again and whatnot. They're like, just like every comic book, man. You see that splashy cover, you open it up, you're right in the middle of a story. And even if it's the first chapter of a comic book story, you're always in the middle of a comic book story, man. Like as Mike Carlin once told me years ago, comic books are all middle act 2. He's like, act 1 happened. That's the origin. And you rarely do that again unless you're, you know, relaunching. Act 3 would be the end. And he's like, and we never want that. He's going, so all we do is tell act 2 over and over and over again. And this movie has that structure of just dropping you into a story without spoon feeding you how we got there. You'll catch the details you'll need. And it's not even like it's a story told out of time either. From what I heard from somebody, they dipped out of doing the days of the week. That's how it was structured, which I would have loved. I'm not saying like they didn't do it and that ruined the movie, not at all. But that would have been dope because that's what it felt like to me. Like, most movies go for one big event that the character is going through and they're fucking, and we're there for that moment in that character's life. This felt like this is a Thursday for this guy and a Friday and a Saturday. And it wasn't like one gigantic story only. There's a bunch of little fires and big fires that the guy's putting out throughout the whole story. Not the least of which is like somebody stole my fucking dog. Not my dog, my cousin's dog. Spoilers. A lot of spoilers, kids. Just to know that going in. So I didn't have not like I had high expectations because I like James as a storyteller, but I didn't have these like, it better be this shit. Particularly because I've always been more of a Batman guy. I like Superman an awful lot. I've loved Superman, but never once went to a Superman movie and saw myself up on the screen, except maybe in the first one where I looked a lot like Otis, Ned Beatty's Otis and shit. So, I can't remember a time I ever identified with the character of Superman other than wanting to do the right thing, and shit like that, but not like he's my guy. This is the first time I watched a Superman movie where I felt seen. Where I felt like, oh, I feel like Superman feels sometimes. Like that describes how I go about life. That's a magic trick, man, because Superman is, the original superhero, but the original character of fantasy. This shit could never happen. You could make an argument that like Batman could happen. You just train really hard, man. You got a lot of money and shit. And if your parents died and you watched them die, you could be a Batman. I ain't gonna fight you. You can never be Superman. Superman is one of the most unrealistic fucking children's stories ever written. It's about a guy who can fly. Number one, we all know that's not possible. It's about a guy that you could fire bullets at him and they bounce off his chest. And we all know that's not fucking possible. And it's about a guy who will be there for you at the worst moment of your fucking life and save you and save the day, save everybody. And we all know that's a fucking fiction as well. And yet it's one of the sweetest fictions that this nation of ours, this world, has ever fallen in love with from a storyteller. They keep telling this fucking story over and over again, kids, because there's something about it that really appeals to us, whether it's the notion of like, this kid ain't from here. He don't have his parents. So you can identify with it as somebody who was maybe, adopted in life, just like Clark Kent, or just like Kal-El is adopted by the Kents. You could identify with it in the stranger in a strange land kind of way. If you have ever had that experience, moved from a different place, moved by your parents to a different world altogether and whatnot. It has as the story was originally conceived by Siegel and Schuster back in the day, elements of the American immigrant struggle written throughout it, the American Jewish struggle written throughout it. So the source material is truly the American stew, right? Like this it's half created by a Canadian as well. Don't forget, one of them was from up in Canada, but very much an American icon of absolute fucking fantasy. The story could never happen in a million years. And yet we all cleave and cling to this fucking story. It means a lot, even to people that don't give a shit. My wife don't care about any of this superhero bullshit, man. We sat through that movie, and I don't mean that in a bad way. We sat together through the movie, and she cried like 3 times, and she's a hard ass. Like, she's a cold fucking woman. I don't mind telling you because she ain't listening, and she'll never hear this, but not a warm human being. And she don't go for the shit I get. You know how you always find me on the internet crying about superhero shit? My wife is the person who makes fun of me. Like, just like you, the internet, the people who are like, grow up. She's one of those cats. But in that movie, reduced to tears and shit. Something very powerful about that story. And for the first time ever, I looked up on the screen and I was like, oh, I feel a connection to this character more than like, oh, a Superman movie is happening. Stuff of fantasy, and boy, was it handled fantastically. That's what a summer movie should be. You go take a trip to something that could never be, man. And for those 2 hours, you're escaping into a world where things can work out very well. Things can get solved in a 3-act structure and you can watch one of the most heinous pieces of shit ever invented, Lex Luthor, just do his absolute fucking worst, man, and know in your heart of hearts that at the end of the day, Superman gonna make it right. So, ultimate fantasy story, and James Gunn delivered a fantasy movie. Is a comic book movie through and through, with more than one concept thrown at you. You know, he trusts that the audience can handle more than one superhero. I mean, fuck, we saw Avengers Endgame where they collected everybody together. But this is different. You're starting a universe, and there's a chance that you're like, well, let's not make it too complicated for these people. And they were like, bullshit. How about we just tell a great story? And in doing so, we may use some other characters from the fucking toy box and shit like that. And we're gonna take for granted that our audience is going to take the trip with us, even though they've never met some of these characters before. Metamorpho has not been introduced in a live action movie prior to this. Neither, I mean, we've seen a Green Lantern. You never saw the bowl cut of Guy Gardner. And have we ever seen a live action Hawk Girl in a movie before? No, right?
No. Hawkman, yes.
Hawkman, yes, we did in part of the JSA and the Black Adam movie and stuff.
Yeah.
So, he's giving you some characters, and Mr. Terrific, we've never fucking seen in the movie before. So James is like, look, in order to paint the fucking color, the pictures I'm painting, these are some colors I want to use. And maybe, at first blanch, a studio might be like, whoa. There's a lot of characters in this thing. But the storyteller is like, don't worry. They're going to follow. And they did. Even somebody like me, of course, naturally I'm on board and I can follow everything. But my wife never once leaned over and was like, who's this now? Where'd this come from? The only thing that I will say my wife said at the end of the movie, she's going, he was really good. He played it really differently this time. I said, who? She goes, Superman. I was like, what do you mean differently? She goes, well, than he did in the last time I saw him. She's going, is that Henry Cavill? I said, no. I said, that's a new Superman. She goes, oh, you're kidding. She was like, well, all those white boys look the same to me. But she was blown away by the kid's performance, as was I. Like, Chris Reeve being a gold standard and shit. Never once did I ever watch Chris Reeve as a kid and identify with him. Like I was never like, that's me up there. This is the first time I saw a Superman movie where I was like, I feel it. I feel seen. Like I feel like Superman feels and stuff. And I think that had everything to do with how James wrote the character and everything to do with how David Cornsweet played it. I think he was best decision they made was casting that kid because he carries that movie. He plays a Clark Kent and a Superman that feels like the Boy Scout he is, who just wants to do the right thing. He's like a giant Labrador retriever of a human being, well, of a Kryptonian, who just wants to please and do the right thing. And oh my God, I loved it. And they beat the shit out of this guy, and still he would come back. One of my favorite moments in the entire fucking movie is, there's a brief respite where him and Lois are having a conversation. She's wonderful, Rachel Brosnahan.
Yeah.
So they're having a conversation in the background. The Justice Gang is fighting an interdimensional imp, which could be Mr. Mixie. And as he's having this conversation, he, with Lois, he says, well, I'm going to turn myself in tomorrow. And she's like, what? Why? And he's like, well, because they want to arrest me, but I figure I can maybe find out what happened to the dog, where they took the dog. And she goes, it's just a dog. And he goes, I know. And he's not even a very good one. He's going, but he's alone and he's probably scared. That's fucking the epitome of Superman. Motherfucker cares about, I mean, granted, it's not his dog, it's somebody else's dog, but just that he cares about, he saves a squirrel in the movie. It was fucking adorable. I love that line. In addition to all the lines about being human and stuff like that, the scene with his father, that moment alone, that was where I got really emotional at that. I mean, yes, I love my dogs, but it was more than that. It was like seeing Superman portrayed. And again, I don't raise it up to put anything else down. was just seeing Superman portrayed in a way that I absolutely fucking loved. And at the end of the movie, Mark, I went to see it at 2 o'clock at the um, Landmark. Used to be the old Lindley Sunset 5. Saw it at 2. We were done and out by like 4 and change, 4:30. I went back to see it at the Chinese theater, the Man's, at the 6, not the big theater, at 9 o'clock that night. A couple hours later, I was like, I want to go back and see if what I felt was real, and it was. Like and that's what brought me back. It wasn't like, man, it's well scripted. I mean, it's well written, but it's like, oh, that fucking plot. Like, that ain't it. It's how I felt. It was the moments that made me feel things, that made me, grab my chest, took my breath away and stuff. And it wasn't like, look at the effects. Like, it wasn't that. We've seen people fly. Special effects ain't going to do it. Special effect that grabs me is like that powerful human moment, which most people aren't trying to bring to a movie about a fucking superhero, about a god who could do anything. And yet it was the man part of Superman that kept me fucking riveted, man. He's a good man, fictional, but a good man. I did a very long 1 hour and 20-minute review that is already available on the channel. So you could go deep diving on that later on and stuff. But I've been curious to hear what Mr. Marc Bernardin has to say about it. So suffice to say, I fucking had a great time and shit. And go watch my long review. Mark, thoughts?
I went to see it opening night, Thursday night at the Chinese.
Same.
As is my wont. If I can go see a movie there, I'll go see a movie there. My expectations were not high, but they weren't low. Like I tried, despite whatever the internet might think, I try to greet every movie kind of on its own terms. I don't go in prescriptively. It's like, he's got to do these 9 things, otherwise I'm not going to give a shit. And I sort of came out of it, in the movie, like, smiled a bunch, it was like, oh, all right, cool. Aw, a lot of that. And came out feeling like I had a really good time with that movie. It's a lot of movie. It's maybe too much movie. Like, there's just, it's a lot.
Yeah.
I had a friend describe it as, well, these 40 TikToks assembled together as a movie are pretty good. Like.
But I was okay with that in terms of it's like, it was a bunch of mini movies.
Yeah.
And a lot's going on, but that's like, for me, that worked because I was like, of course it's Superman. Lots always going on and shit.
Lots is always going on. And like, the stuff that worked really worked. I mean, as you say, David Corn Sweat is great. Like, understands the assignment, understands, he's
love him.
Christopher Reeve is always going to be the platonic ideal, at least for me, of what Superman is, partially because he's the first one that I saw, and was magic in that movie, specifically the first one. And so casting Superman is like casting Captain America, in that, like, find me a decent fucking person. Find me somebody whose job number one is to convey not power, but decency. And Corn Sweat is that guy. Rachel Brosnahan also is very good. Margot Kidder is my platonic ideal of what Lois Lane is. But even still, like, she's great. Fucking Skylar Gisondo as
Charm City. The entire fucking cast is Charm City. Not a fucking false note in the bunch where you're like, well, they shouldn't have cast that person.
No, like, everybody that they cast is great at what they're doing.
Yes. And you enjoy seeing them together. They're so fucking charming.
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I wanted the most out of this movie coming out of it was room to breathe. Like, there's like 2 really good Lois and Clark scenes.
Yeah. Particularly the interview scene, which we saw in the big trailer.
The interview scene is great. The, like, caping up to go and turn myself in is great. The stuff when you go back to, Kansas, to Smallville, and you meet the Kents, I think is great. The moment where, Lois walks around Clark's childhood room and discovers, oh, this is who this guy actually is. I wish we just had more time to live in they've only been dating for, like, this is their 3rd date, and they don't really know each other yet. And they're getting to know each other, and this weirdness of, She already knows he's Superman. We don't know how that happened. You know, he's only saying "I love you" now for the first time, so it's a really new relate. Why she thinks it's not going to work for her. This movie does not give you a lot of Clark Kent. Ironically, there's one scene where he's Clark Kent. Every other scene he's Superman, and I kind of missed that part of it. But like, you know, and I think Lex's plot makes sense. It happens quickly, and it you know, it's complicated, maybe a little too complicated. I think I buy it, you know, and because fucking Nicholas Hoult is fun to watch. And he's doing what I think clearly what James Gunn was looking for him to do. It's not a Lex that I'm used to. An emotional Lex is not the Lex that I'm used to.
I'm not fighting you. I agree that you're not used to that, and I also like that's something that's never been part of the Matrix. But I love that he got like you felt the hate, and I loved when he fucking cried because it was like, you know, you're just like, Jesus, this poor broken fuck, and not you didn't pity him and shit, but you were just like, there's a reason this guy's such an asshole. He's a real like Ahab from Hell's Heart. I stab at thee.
Yeah, like he's monomaniacal in that way. And the inversion of the plot, which is I didn't trap you to get this war off its feet. I got the war off its feet so I could get you.
Yeah.
Like it's not a land grab for me. You know, it's a how do I get Superman grab.
And yet there still is a real estate angle to everything.
There still is. And my favorite, like I know it's the dumbest, smallest little thing, but there's a character in the movie. He's one of the two guys who are releasing the fire breathing dragon thing into Metropolis in like the second act of the movie. His name is Otis in the movie. He's the black dude.
Yeah. He's the one that like pulls the handle. He's the one who goes. The one guy goes kind of small.
Yeah,
for Kaiju, and he goes, he'll get bigger, and then they cut.
He'll get bigger. That character's name, according to the credits, is Otis Berg. And that just made me smile.
That's awesome. Otis Berg.
Otis Berg.
Otis Berg.
You know, like there's the stuff of that movie. There's the little things in the margins that I did love to death. Mr. Terrific, all day with Mr. Terrific.
Again, I do a deep dive hour and 20-minute review, but I spent a lot of time talking about that sequence, like essentially the Yondu's arrow sequence of this movie where Lois gets protected in the fucking bubble and Mr. Terrific uses his T-spheres to take out like 40, 50 fucking people. Wonderful sequence. And right then and there, you're like I always like this character on the page, but you're like, and you know, I've done him in animated form as well. But like seeing this, you're like, I'll watch a season of this. I'll watch a whole movie about this. Like, give me more of this shit, man. Like, in a world where we didn't get Batman in this movie, Mr. Terrific was the adjacent thing because he was fucking little bit like, you know, the way standoffish like Batman is, brilliant like Batman is, rich apparently like Batman is and stuff. Yeah. But, you know, we didn't have to do a Batman thing again. Like we got somebody new.
And there's that moment when they're when they finally arrive in Lex Luthor's bridge of his flying spaceship or whatever. Mr. Terrific is going to fix the fucking chasm or whatever. And the guy's like, I can help you with a code if you want. And he mushes him in the face.
I'm like, goddamn Mr. Terrific.
I'm out.
Like, it does because I'm goddamn Mr.
I've ever seen the superhero movie.
I loved a lot of his moments. I loved when he was like, oh, holy shit. He's like, there's a flying dog with a little cape. And then it came like for the T-spheres and stuff. Yeah, he was wonderful. What a great ad. What a great performance. Fun and like set it up for like, give me more of that. Yeah, like I'll watch like every they could spin off Guy Gardner, but he's in Lanterns, and now I hear he curses in Lanterns, so I'm like, I'm fucking there for it. But give me some Mr. Terrific, give me some Hawk Girl, give me some fucking Metamorpho.
Like everything that's in it is good.
Yeah,
I just feel like there was too much of it because, like, if you're going to eventually drive towards big spoilers, Bizarro, which is ultimately where they go.
Yeah, not in this movie, kids, but yes.
Yeah, I mean,
they're setting the table for another movie.
Yeah, It's, the fucked up clone of Superman. It's like, well, then give me that moment where Clark realizes that, as the quote unquote lone Kryptonian, the last son of Krypton. Wait, I'm not the last son of Krypton. I've got a brother or a twin or a whatever. Like, there's no emotional room for that to land.
That's one of the things I bumped into. Like, somebody asked me, like, scale of 1 to 10. I was like, oh, hard 8, man. It's like a real solid fucking 8 and shit. But there were a couple things I bumped into. That was one of them. The reveal of, again, spoilers, kids. Like, don't be in here if you haven't seen Superman. You don't want it spoiled. But the reveal of Ultraman as, the nuclear man from Superman for the Quest for Peace. Like, that's literally, we got a hair from Superman, so we cloned him. And again, this ain't like untrue to the comics. In one incarnation of Ultraman, I think, is a clone of Superman, if I remember. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he's, from a different dimension or whatever the fuck. But I thought and this is probably my fault, I'd seen online speculation that Ultraman, when the mask came off, was going to be Supergirl. Mm. And the moment that the fortress opened up for Lex and the engineer and Ultraman, I was like, well, that would make sense. If that's Supergirl under the mask, then of course. And, it just, Lex was controlling her the way he was fucking controlling everything else and shit. I would have bought that 100%. And when Superman comes crashing back to Earth and you see, Ultraman dazed and the mask is split, I could have swore I saw blonde hair. And I almost turned to my wife to be like, here comes Supergirl. Thank God I didn't. So then all of a sudden they show me just a long-haired version of Superman. And, Lex Luthor's talking us through it, going like, I cloned him. And just like, but he ain't like, he's dumber than you somehow and shit. So right then and there, I'm like, so wait, the big bad's a clone? But then I was like, well, he's not the big bad. Lex Luthor's the big bad. This guy's just a fucking tool. You had plenty of villains in the movie. So it was kind of smart of James to do that, because he wasn't like, this was the lone bad guy and it turned out to be a clone of Clark. I'm with you in as much as like last son of Krypton, but last daughter of Krypton's there as well. So the specialness of Superman being alone. I mean, we had the last dog of Krypton for the whole movie as well. So I didn't bump into it for that so much, but I did just like, I was like, yeah. Oh, clone.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Because especially after I said clone, the next thought was, oh, he's setting up Bizarro. And, by the time he's being pulled into the black hole with all those proton cubes and shit, I was like, there's Bizarro world being pulled in and built in some other dimension and shit like that. So I bumped into that, just like, again, didn't ruin the movie for me where it was like, boo! But I was like, oh, it's just a clone? I was kind of hoping it was Supergirl. That would have been kind of cool. That being said, I love what they did with Supergirl, so I wasn't like wholly disappointed. The other thing I bumped into was what they did with his Kryptonian parents. Going like, the part of the message where it's like, and if shit don't work out, subjugate them all and fuck as many as possible. Like, that honestly felt like out of another movie, like more so than this movie. And I'm not one of those like, you can't do that because they never did that in the comics. We've done incarnations in the comics, many incarnations of Superman's Kryptonian parents and stuff. John Byrne's version, had a very sterile world and shit like that. Mm-hmm. They're always sending them to a place where Earth's yellow sun will give them strength. I don't know if there's one that ever said, other than, Zod in Man of Steel, his whole thing was, yeah, we're here to fucking terraform and kill all these people and be, the kings of this planet, rule this planet.
Right.
So it felt, I bumped into that, not where I was like, boo, but I was like, oh. I was kind of hoping that'd be revealed to be a hoax, but they kind of went with it. And the thing is, for how the movie eventually ends, I didn't think it was worth it. Like, and not like it ruined it for me, but I was like, you went to all that trouble, and at the end of the day, you just used it to have people not like Superman a little bit more. But you were already accomplishing that with Baravia and Jarampur. So it just felt like you didn't need to have Superman's Kryptonian parents be like a little mercenary to be like, hey, man, on this planet, you can fucking king up and all day long. Hashtag
or
superhero.
or like lean into it a bit more and create the, does it matter where you're from, or does it matter because make it the immigrant story? Like lean into that part of it, and like, yeah, okay, your parents could have been assholes, or your birth parents could have been assholes. The parents who raised you, the parents who loved you, the earth that loved you, like this is who you are. That is where you're from, and those can be two different things if you want them to be. You can take the best parts of where you're from and incorporate that into your new matrix. And you're the last son of Krypton, but you're the best son of Earth, or whatever that is. But a little more air to that story would have made it feel a little less arbitrary. Like, because I wanted more with Ma and Pa Kent. I wanted more with Lois, like meeting her boyfriend's parents for the first time. Like that.
Playing Ma and Pa Kent like true, fucking what was that? That technically that Kansas Midwest, is that what it is?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they gave him hayseed accents, man. Like Clark, I love that. His mom screaming into the phone on the tip. Clark, saw the headline in the Planet today. I thought that was such a great fucking choice. Pruitt Taylor Vince was a brilliant choice. Her name is, what is it? Neva.
I don't know.
But she was a great choice. Like there's always been a Ma and Pa Kent, but generally they don't sound like they're from Kansas. And I thought it was cool leaning into it and being like, no, man, they live in a double wide and they sound like that. And that's how you get to Superman.
Yeah.
Like, that's in a country that's often divided between red and blue states. It's noteworthy that Superman was raised in what money would consider an electoral map. A red state is Kansas, that?
I believe it is.
So, I felt even that was a little bit like, oh, nice. Like, I'm not going to say, and that healed this nation's wounds, but in a tiny, small way, leaning into that. I don't know. I liked it very much. I loved that they were like so very specifically regional in their accent, made them lovable, identifiable, salt of the earth, fucking that part of the Superman story where it's like Superman could have landed anywhere on this planet and he landed in America and he landed in the heartland of America and he landed with two heart-filled Americans. Like, and that's the reason that the guy is the way he is. Like, I loved when they were bringing him in the beginning and he was like chanting along with the message that he's like listened to his entire life as they were speaking in Kryptonian, and he was doing it too. And one of the robots, I think, says like it means a lot to him and shit.
Yeah.
And later on in the movie, he said it. He goes, that meant a lot to me. Is a big part of why I do what I do, or whatever the fuck. And it's, you realize when they do this, well, he's gonna have to let go of that shit and become his own person and whatnot. And then he ends the movie so beautifully on the note of like, shall we put up your family? He likes
your
that.
parents again.
Yeah, put up my parents. And then they show Ma and Pa Kent raising him, man. Like, that's some beautiful shit while they're playing punk rocker. Like, that's a James Gunn ending to a movie, man. It's all fucking heart, like just pure heart. And so even though there are things that I'm like, I wouldn't have done that, or I wouldn't have done that, or well, I've seen that before. Like, having the government not, or the people not trust Superman. Like, I know that's a thing that's unavoidable in modern storytelling, but like, it's always like, can we trust this guy?
Right. And then
yes, like big resounding yes.
Got it. There was some what seems to, I will interpret as I'm not even gonna say revenge, but the idea for James Gunn, a man who had a very public pseudo cancellation at the hands of the media, of the internet, who has gone on the record saying, I didn't know if I was going to have a career after, the internet uncovered shitty tweets that I wrote that I have acknowledged were shitty, that I was a different person. But, when he lost the Guardians job, when Disney fired him and he was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to do this again. For him to have a sequence where a million monkeys are typing hate mail, hate speech about Superman into the internet. It's like, yeah, that's And for it to be a movie about a guy who A, doesn't read the internet, but B, starts to believe it and is taught by the world to look beyond it and to just see the best in people. I was like, yeah, that's a guy who went through some shit, you
Yeah.
know, and that's a
And some
filmmaker who
growth.
went
I
through some.
mean, and some growth. It's like not just like, oh, they dug up old tweets and he lost his fucking job. Like that forced him to be like, why did I do those old tweets? And I was trying to be an edgelord and shit like that. So you can view the monkeys typing through two prisms.
Mm-hmm.
One is, you know, James has been through it with the public and stuff going after him. Or the other is James going like, I was one of those hateful fucking typists at one
Yeah,
point.
I was a
That
monkey.
comes from a place of wanting to be recognized, wanting your brilliance to be seen. How come these people get attention and I don't? And that is not James Gunn's problem anymore.
Yeah,
Like through good hard work, he put away that idea and instead just like, I'm going to focus on my craft and made wonderful movies, you know, that like even of course as we headed into Superman, there people were a bit divided, but that had nothing to do with, you know, him and his filmmaking as much as, you know, people going, don't we like this universe and shit. I don't know. I felt there's a grown up making this very
mm-hmm.
childish movie. And when I say childish, I don't mean like, you know, it is. It's a child's fantasy. But it's it's if you have a beating heart, doesn't matter how old you are, whether you're a kid or a grown up kid, it's gonna lock in on you. And he's very good at that. He's very good at finding the emotion in the unbelievable. You
Yeah.
know, like he makes you care about a fucking talking raccoon or a tree,
The
you know, that
two
walks
things that
around.
James seems to love are found families
Mhm.
and animals.
Yeah.
And so if he can make a movie that will give you a bunch of fucking knuckleheads who should not be together but are, and some pathos of an animal in crisis who does nothing but love, then that seems to be the recipe for like a very good James Gunn movie. And even like to a certain degree, the fallibility of the parents that you had in favor of the reality and dependability of the family of the parents that you found. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, it's the ego story in Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Like Yandu is his father. I mean, I think somebody's been putting it in the chat quite a bit. It's like he might have been your father, but he wasn't your dad. You know,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that's the yeah the Yandu story. That's his relationship with you know Jor-El. Might have been your father, but he wasn't your daddy. That guy over there is your daddy.
Um, yeah. He boy, he does like to bring animals into the mix.
You know, and
Um,
like the crypto stuff is great.
is really great. It's not just like, oh, that's cool or that's
Yeah.
cute or oh, they're going to sell toys. Like he's a functional part of the story. You need him to tell the story.
I mean, he saved Superman's life maybe one too many times. It's like, can our Superman be super a little bit more?
I and I also love how they just unabashedly put a little cape on his fucking collar.
Yeah, this is just
Something that you couldn't have gotten away with like 25 years ago, something nobody would have tried 10 years ago. And we're in a world now where like, fuck it, go Silver Age, put the cape on the dog. They put capes on squirrels that the dog saw on his head as he was
yeah,
being tortured by Lex Luthor.
yeah,
Um, yeah, man, it is I cast very, very well. There are moments that Nicholas Holt, like who the whole time I'm like, that's the boy from About a Boy. Like this is what happens when those boys grow up. It's like About a Boy went through adolescence and turned into fucking Lex Luthor and shit.
yeah. He
So
lived and died so he can live again. He went shiny and chrome to fucking
yes, what an asshole he played. And he seemed to be having a good time doing it. But there were some shots where James shot him from below, that one shot where he's like fucking smiling and shit,
Mhm.
where he looks like Howard Porter's rendition of Lex Luthor from Grant Morrison's JLA run. Like it
Mhm.
was just so perfect. One of my favorite moments in the whole movie, though, is when he finally fucking loses. Like, I love how passionate he got, where he got all teary-eyed and shit. And when he's like, 1A, 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 like just beating the shit out of Superman from a distance, which is like such a cowardly thing to do. But the moment that he realized it was all over and he's like, let's pack this up and get fucking in the portal. And he's walking toward the portal. And you know, he's portrayed the whole movie as just like walks between the raindrops.
Mhm.
Even as he walks into the Fortress of Solitude, he walks in like he owns a fucking place, and blades from the engineer are going in front of his face, but he doesn't even fucking flinch. And to watch that dude like saunter toward the portal, and then he looks to his right out the window, and then instantly fucking triple times it, where he fucking starts running like a little wuss. I thought that was fantastic. It was such a great character moment. This guy is full of fucking hateful confidence. And then he sees justice coming his way at like 60, 70, 100 miles per hour. And he fucking tries to make a mad dash to get the fuck out of there. Bam! Oh, I love that. That was fucking cool.
Yeah. I mean, I wanted more. I wanted more for Wendell Pierce, because I always want more Wendell Pierce. Like, it's super spotty journalism. Won't get into it, but Clark Kent would be laughed out of every fucking newsroom for interviewing himself. Not great.
Right.
Not great. But yeah, I mean, it's, and also Metamorpho's powers don't work that way. He could not have formed according. Ooh, I'm sorry, Bertie.
Somebody disagreed.
I know, but that's not the way his powers work. He can only create elements that are inside of his body. So he couldn't have invented kryptonite out of like whatever. Like the movie does what the movie needs to do with that, and those sequences are really interesting. It's a lot of movie, and I wish there was a way you could turn up the volume on some things and down the volume on other things and just balance it a little bit more. But those are tiny notes. You know, I had a good time.
It was a damn good time, enough for me to like go back and see it again in the same fucking day. In chat, Francisco Alvarez says, how come no one talks about the Lex Russian roulette torture execution? In my long deep dive, which you can go watch elsewhere on this channel, I talk about it there. I thought that was haunting. I thought that was fucked up, man. Not like, you know, take it out, but I was like, wow, fucking kudos for throwing a scene in just to show how shitty this guy is. Like, it ain't just about like, you know, fucking Superman from hell's heart, I stab at thee, and this fucking rift is going to destroy Metropolis. I don't give a fuck. Like, this guy was such a fucking prick that he fucking shot a guy.
Yeah.
And David Cornsweet, his Superman's wail, like of just, you know, anguish was absolutely fucking wonderful. That's the moment that turns like Metamorpho as well, you know.
Yeah. And it's also like I do grow weary of the villain killing normal people for the sake of showing us that he's evil, because that's not that scene. That scene is, I know what hurts Superman. Superman wants to save innocent people. I found one. I'm going to kill this dude. I'm going to get another one. I'm going to get another one. And I'm going to keep fucking doing it until I find somebody you really care about that is going to break you. Maybe that reporter from the Daily Planet. Like, that all tracked for me. I do I didn't need, granted, this again is purely taste, but I didn't need the Death Blossom. Like, Superman clearly kills a bunch of human people in suits at the end of that movie, when after he beats up the clone, it's like, oh, here comes the rest of Lex Luthor's shock troops flying around, and Superman just fucking spins around lasering guys to death.
I didn't get that he was killing him as much as, like, you know, because they kept showing him drop to the ground in their suits and shit like that. Like, I bought that as, like, you know, Superman just taking the suits out, and I don't think I couldn't imagine at this late stage in the game of the movie they were going to let him butcher people, even if they were trying to kill him. You're talking about a guy who was trying to save the kaiju for an intergalactic zoo, which I was thrilled to hear him reference.
Yes.
So I didn't see that as murder, but I did see the Lex Luthor shooting a fucking guy right in the head. That was, and the optics of it, who shot who, was really fucking like.
Yeah, his laser eyes were on stun. Somebody, Ryan Landis, says in chat.
I'll take
all
it.
I needed from that was the, like, it's the Terminator 2 beat, right? where he's got the giant fucking chain gun and he shoots all of the cops and then he scans them all and it says no fatalities. I needed the like, they've all got parachutes, the G.I. Joe excuse. Like,
and that's why the movie sucks, kids.
It does. I found the problem with it. He didn't do a quick heartbeat scan to make sure those 50 guys. I didn't need another CG action scene at that moment because the emotional resolution of that story is I beat up your fucking avatar, Luther. I'm coming for you. And now I'm going to break you with the realization that I'm better than you in every way that a person can be better. I've solved your problem. I've saved the people. I've done the thing. I need to kill another 50 guys or puncture another 50 suits. It becomes the CG overkill that I just wasn't looking for.
Iron Tiger in chat pulled a quote, one of my favorite quotes from all of comics history. Rubber bullets, honest.
Yeah.
I love a good Dark Knight Returns reference. Somebody, Ben Bamboo says James ripped it from The Last Starfighter. Hey man, I ain't saying that James created an insanely original movie. Like at the end of the day, it's a Superman movie, and some elements are going to be repeated. And good artists borrow, great artists steal, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
if he pulled an idea or two from other movies, that's what we all do and stuff like that. I enjoyed it. That movie made me feel warm. And what a great way, if that's the beginning of the DCU, give me more.
Yeah.
The tease for Supergirl, I'll be honest with you, like when they announced Supergirl, I was like, all right, I'll see it. And when they said Lobo, I was like, all right, well, there's another reason to see it and shit. But the Supergirl they introduced at the tail end of this movie, I was like, can we watch that right now?
She's a party girl. She likes to go to Red Sun Planet so you can get drunk.
Fucking, if that's the movie, count me in. Like fucking, and what a great, they did his after credit scenes. They weren't about like, building a mythology or anything. They were just PSs to the movie you saw. Any world building they did in the movie proper. So I think they were sowing the seeds for a Supergirl movie by literally telling us what it's about. Yeah. She's going to go to other planets and try to get fucking drunk.
Yeah. She's got a dog that loves her more than loves him. And she likes to tie one on.
And we're going to get more crypto, which made me happy and stuff. I saw somebody, ask James Gunn online. James Gunn, very interactive with the public and stuff. In fact, most of the people here in chat have probably interacted with James. But somebody asked him, like, will crypto meet Eagly? And I think he responded, like, crypto would eat Eagly.
Eagly is just a bird.
I want to see more from the DCU, and it looks like we're going to see more and stuff. So I'm happy. I'm happy. Indeed. I ain't telling you, oh my God, he made a perfect film. I'm telling you, he made what for my money is a perfect summer movie.
I had a good time.
I had a really good time. Made me smile. I was all throughout like this. Was happy. Made me, verklempt time to time. Good times, man. The gun is loaded, Mark.
Ooh, the punnery.
Yes. You can watch my 1 hour and 20-minute deep dive. I literally I retell the entire movie. It's not a review as much as a recap, an hour and 20-minute recap. If you're like, man, I want to see the movie again, but I don't want to go out and see it again, go watch that review. Just turn the picture off and listen to me talk about it. Be like, oh, yeah, that's right. He's right. That did happen then. Banff, man, you got anything to say about Soups?
Banff. My comment before the show started on the internet or on the chat was, I'm the guy who chose to be spoiled about Superman on today's show rather than bring my young kids to the movie theater and spoil the theater going experience for everybody else. So I'll go watch your review after this, and then I don't need to go pay for it.
So you have not seen it yet.
I haven't seen it. But I mean, again, listening to you guys talk about it, I'm like, oh, it sounds like a Superman movie. Like Lex Luthor does some bad shit. Superman does some good shit. There's a dog.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a dog. That part's new.
But it was in the trailer. Like, you knew that it was going to be a dog. Nothing's,
Yeah.
I mean, people are mad at me now.
For my money, purely my money, the greatest scene in a Superman movie I've ever seen is in the original Christopher Reeve movie when he's about to tell Lois that he's actually Superman, he takes the glasses off. He suddenly gains like 5 inches of stature, and then just fucking becomes Clark Kent again. And it's magic. And this movie is a ton of fun. And Corn Sweat is great. But because they're not playing the love triangle anymore, you don't ever really get a scene like that where you get to see the guy abandon the sort of the artifice to reveal himself in full. But this is not the movie that James wanted to make. There were different moments where he decided that, like, no, this is going to be what Superman is. Where's the dog? Is his version of, like, this is
where's the dog?
Where's the dog, Luther?
I like when he calms down and he's just like, just a dog. Like, come on, man, it's just a dog. And he's like, I don't know what dog you're talking about. Ugly little dog, red cape. Yeah, I enjoyed that. I enjoyed how shitty he was, even to the dog.
Yeah.
Just a true fucking villain, man. And it all comes from, like, why him? It's just jealousy. And he goes to great lengths because of that jealousy. Man, oh man, Mr. Terrific. That movie is not just terrific, it's Mr. Terrific.
It is indeed.
Kids, there's our thoughts on Superman. Go see Superman yourselves. It's now playing in a theater near you. You can go see it at Smodcastle Cinemas if you're in New Jersey. Watch it where I watched Superman 2 when I was a kid at what used to be the Atlantic Highlands Twin Cinemas, now Smodcastle Cinemas in Atlantic Highlands, New Jersey, where I'm going to be on August 2nd and 3rd. August 3rd, I'm doing some live shows at Smodcastle Cinemas, one with Harley, Beardless Dickless Me Live. Then we're doing Yoga Hosers. There's a comic book signing at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash that day. Tickets at csmod.com. But before that, we're going to be in San Diego, me and Mark, man.
Say hi.
You can see me at night at a place called Goodnight John Boy. Used to be the Tin Roof Inn. Now it's become Goodnight John Boy.
Oh, really?
That's where we're doing the live shows. Yeah, we thought we were doing American Comedy Club, but they booked other people. But Goodnight John Boy was like, you guys did shows here.
Come on back.
Like, fuck yeah. You can see me in Hall H. You can see me moderating Predator Badlands panel and Tron Aries. You can see me moderating Mark's panel on Saturday before Hall H. That's how much I love Mark. Right before my Hall H panel, I'm going to do Mark's panel and shit.
Yes. And then he's got to skip skedaddle on a little
Run the fuck out of
trolley.
Like, I'm gonna get on a Tron light cycle and fucking book it right to my thing. But yeah, man, tickets as always at csmod.com. All right, that's all the reviews we got, right? Jaws 2. Fuck, man, I'd watched Jaws 2 last week. Jennifer was like, I got a Jaws pinball machine from Stern. And because I did a voice in the Dungeons and Dragons, the Stern pinball game. So they're like, we'll give you a voice with your, give you a game with your voice in it. I said, can I have the Jaws game instead? They're like, I guess. So they gave me that. But now I do want the Dungeons and Dragons game with my voice in it. Because I'll tell you something. I've fallen for pinball.
You a pinball wizard?
I'm not a wizard, but I had one table. I never had no pinball tables. Then I got a free pinball table from Stern, the Jaws table. And now it's multiplying, Mark. I have a X-Men table from Stern as well.
I am 100% here for this new Kevin Smith, who is diving deep into the past.
Yes, that's what I love about it, bitch. It's so 70s. So 70s, man. Obviously, I'm going through a midlife, whatever the fuck. It's not crisis, but I know I got less time in front of me than behind me and shit, so I'm reaching back. And I have loved playing fucking 70s pinball, son. Although now it's like 2025 pinball. There, you can watch Jaws while you're playing the fucking game. There are clips. It's got the music. It's fucking fantastic. You can like scan in with your fucking name and shit and play people on other parts of the world.
I gotta come over and play some fucking pinball.
Please fucking do. But because we were playing so much Jaws pinball, Jennifer was like, "You want to watch Jaws?" And I said, "I mean, look, I love Jaws and shit, but I said I've watched it within the last year or two." I said, "Let's watch Jaws 2. Do you remember Jaws 2?" She goes, "I don't know if I saw it." I said, "Well, I remember seeing it many times. I said, let's watch Jaws 2. I'll tell you something, man. For a movie that wasn't like about world building and shit like that. Like back in the 70s, they were just doing straight up sequels, right? Like they put a 2 and it happened again. So there's a lot of world building and like fucking Easter eggs that I never noticed, man, or maybe never thought about. There's when they go to Brody's house, Brody's leaving his house at one point where he shows up, after having drunk the night before because they fired him and shit. One of the barrels from Jaws
From the orca
at his front door with flowers in it. Right then and there, I was like, are you shitting me? Like, that's an Easter egg before there was such a fucking thing. Like, there's a reference to Matt Hooper. Like every little, the Jaws world, the kids are now growing up and shit like that. Bringing back the mayor, Bad Hat Harry's in it, the town people and shit. They went out of their way to do some world building, man. Aside from just being once again, yes, it is a story about like same shit happened last movie is happening this time. But this time he gets to eat a helicopter. And that helicopter actually did have a fucking accident and shit. And they kept the footage and put it in the movie.
Really?
Yeah, like the helicopter going under the water wasn't supposed to happen and shit. But something bad happened and it did. And Universal was like, can we use it? And had everyone sign off and paid people and fucking use the footage of it going under the water and shit. Let me tell you something. You're sleeping on Jaws 2. Not you, anybody out there. I know it's this 50th anniversary of Jaws, and we're all fucking sucking Jaws' dick right now, and we should. It's a wonderful movie. But save a little fucking a 1, a 2, a 3 for Jaws 2.
Give a little slobber for the sequel.
Little bit, man. I had such a good fucking time watching it. Kept pausing it, fucking talking to my wife like it was a Marvel movie, going, oh, you don't get it. This is blah, blah, blah. And she's like, I do get it. I saw Jaws. I'm like, all right. Worth watching, kids. If you can't get out and see Superman, you're going to be home. Watch Jaws 2. Same movie.
Yeah. Shark eats people.
All right. You got anything to review? Did you see anything that you want to fucking shout out?
The only thing I want to shout out is I was watching Late Night with Seth Meyers, as I want to do. I'm a Seth fan. And he had Jason Mantzoukas on, who, from The Good Place, from the League, like you've seen him. He's Jason fucking Mantzoukas. He was talking about his love for this British game show's the wrong word for it. Reality show's the wrong word for it. I kept calling it like Gentle or Squid Game, and that nobody dies. But it's this British show about 5 comedians who get invited to do a bunch of challenges called tasks. It's called Taskmaster. And Jason Mantzoukas fell in love with this show and was like, I want to be on it. How do I get on the show? He got on a Zoom with the guys who created it. It's like, I want to be on your show, but you need to be warned. I'm going to destroy, engulf in flames, and be a chaos agent. That's what my whole fucking thing is. They said, great, come on the show. And so I started watching Taskmaster. And man alive, I have not laughed as much at a television show in years.
All right.
It is such chaos. It is such barely controlled mania. It is both like in studio challenges, which are incredibly like gentle, like I think one of them was they would upend a bowl full of items onto a table and you had to blow, and whoever had the last thing on the, like feathers or ping pong balls or whatever, the last person to blow wins. The last person to blow and leave a thing on the table wins. To like very elaborate pranks in a manner they seem to have rented out, which can involve things from like, all right, find the cheese phone, and there's just a phone ringing somewhere, and then you've got to find the phone that is encased in blue cheese somewhere on this grounds. And there is something about it that is both so quintessentially British and also so remarkably funny to have an American dive in it and want to destroy it.
No.
It's on YouTube. It's free. You don't got to subscribe to nothing but to do it. It's so good. There's 19 seasons of this show. I'm only watching the most recent one. I don't know if they get better than this or worse than this, but it's kind of phenomenal. Highly recommend it.
Fucking hey, there it is, man.
The
Big
Taskmaster.
Recommendation from Mark and shit.
Yeah.
Big recommendation from Kev. Archie meets Jane Silent Bob. Now at your local comic shop, kids, or Jane Silent Bob Secret Stash.
I did see a little bit of other comic book news concerning Mr. Kevin Smith that seems to have dropped on the internet, perhaps about a
Play
crossover of sorts.
for the big two.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right, kids. I did a 15 pager for Giant Size Amazing Spider-Man that came out a couple weeks ago, last month.
Mhm.
But they asked me if I wanted to be involved with the upcoming Marvel DC crossover, that they're doing for the first time in like decades and shit. So in the Batman and Deadpool, or Deadpool and Batman book, whichever one, I think it's the Marvel side.
Mhm.
I'm doing a story in it, and it is two characters very near and dear to my heart: Daredevil and Green Arrow crossing over. So not a fuck ton of real estate, but they gave me a few pages to tell a cool story, and grateful. Got a wonderful artist doing it, outstanding, and I've seen the pencils. Just so Marvel has been like, ever since I did the Spider-Man thing, they were like, "You want to do this?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they asked me about something else, another thing, and they were like, "You want to do this?" I said, "Fuck yeah!" So I've been working on that, and then they asked me about another thing,
Ooh.
and I was like, "Seriously? All right, I'm gonna fuck with that." So there's also a DC thing that me and Eric Carrasco are working on and shit. So I'm
Mhm.
got more comic book stuff coming out. It's been a few years. I've been doing quick stops and masquerade for my own imprint, Secret Stash Press. And in fact, Archie Meets Jane Silent Bob is a Secret Stash Press first crossover with another company. 80 years of Archie. Can you believe that shit?
Oh, damn.
So that was our first crossover as a company. So I've been doing my own comics for like the last year, 2 years and stuff, but I ain't fucked with like the other two in a while. So it's been fun playing with other people's toys, so to speak. But yes, that Green Arrow and Daredevil, as written by the guy who made Batman piss himself. That's right. Kev Smith, the name that is the stamp of quality.
Indeed.
All right, so shall we news it?
We can do some news. We covered a little bit of the news already in our rerun up to the news, which is fine. The first bit of news springs right out of Superman, is that apparently James Gunn is looking to spin at least one, if not two, TV shows out of the Superman universe.
What
Namely,
are they?
Mr. Terrific.
Yay!
Thinking about a TV show for Eddie Gathegi's Mr. Terrific, and Jimmy Olsen, Skylar Gazando's Jimmy Olsen.
I like him. I like that actor a bunch. What was that movie he was in with the two girls? About
I don't know him from that. I know him from whatchamacallit, Righteous Gemstones.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, he plays one of the Gemstone brood.
What is
And yeah,
that
he's great.
movie? That movie, and it was directed by the actor Olivia Wilde.
Oh,
Two kids are graduating, two girls are graduating, and they're
yeah,
smart kids,
yeah.
and they want to go to a party like because they haven't partied their whole book smart. Thank you, Brian Christian. Book smart. He was fucking brilliant in Book Smart. That's the only thing I know him from.
Yeah, but I was very much here for the Jimmy Olsen fuckboy, who apparently cannot keep the women off of him.
That storyline in Superman was also not like,
yeah, didn't come out of nowhere.
The Miss Tessmacher and Jimmy storyline was like, I mean, it's tough. You got to keep all the balls in the air, and you got to keep, there's Superman's supporting cast fully involved and engaged in the story, and he found a way to do it. But it's just that I wasn't like, oh, I love that, but I do love that kid as Jimmy Olsen, and I think a Jimmy Olsen TV show with that kid, I'll watch that. But fucking first up, Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific, indeed.
So Iron Tiger says Giant Turtle Man show. That's the thing. If you're doing Jimmy Olsen, you may eventually get to Turtle Boy.
Let's see. We talked about George Lucas going to Comic-Con for the very first time.
George Lucas will be at Comic-Con on Sunday, kids. Moderated by Queen Latifah on a panel with Guillermo del Toro.
Indeed, talking about basically promoting the Lucas Museum of Narrative Art.
That's what it's called.
Um, so that is happening, and I think the museum is slated to open next year, but they're sort of beginning the ramp up of, let me tell you how awesome this place is. Spared no expense. Did we ever talk about Sinners? Did you ever see it?
Yeah, I saw it at my movie theater.
Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
Apparently, there had been a version of the Blade movie that they almost rolled cameras on.
I read this. Was Ruth Carter?
Ruth Carter, who I think ultimately did do the costumes for Sinners, but they were going to make a Blade movie. It was going to be a period vampire movie. They eventually sort of abandoned that version of it, never shot it, but they had a bunch of costumes lying around for their Blade vampire period movie. And so when they went to make Sinners, Ruth Carter was like, hey, I got a fucking warehouse full of costumes, not for the main cast, but for all of these other people who have to be dressed in 1930s period stuff. So we have seen a little bit of Blade on screen. It just happened to be in the costumes that made their way over to Sinners. And I thought that was kind of fun.
That is kind of dope. In chat, Super Sean 064 asks, either of us seen Jurassic?
I have.
What'd you think?
It's
made a lot of money. Made a lot of money. Made a lot of people happy.
Made a lot of money.
I found that surprising. Not that I'm like, what, a Jurassic movie makes money, but I thought after the last round or two, it was like, maybe people are tired, but fuck no, they still love them dinosaur movies.
I mean, yeah, they love those dinosaurs. They love any thin reason for there to be other Jurassic Parks, other places. Like more islands, more dinosaurs. Just keep on fucking having dinosaurs.
And they love what's her fucking name?
Scarlett Johansson.
Oh my god, who just became the highest grossing actor of all time, right? With that movie.
She knocked Sam Jackson.
Smith? Oh, Sam Jackson?
It was Sam Jackson. Who, all of the Avengers, the Star Warses, and that very first Jurassic Park.
Wow, he also had a Jurassic Park.
He was the guy.
You know
man.
You know who one of the top grossing actors is that you would never think?
Stan Lee.
Stan Lee and Alan Tudyk. Because he does voices in Frozen and all the big Disney movies. He's done he's huge.
The Silver Throat of Alan Tudyk.
Yeah, I guess I will eventually catch up with Jurassic Park. Yeah. I wish we lived in a timeline though, Mark, where I know we live in the timeline where Jurassic Park has had a zillion sequels. I wish we lived in the timeline where Jaws had a zillion sequels.
Well, I mean, there's 4 Jawses already.
Yeah, but that happened at a long, time before they were really figuring shit out.
And then you get Deep Blue Sea.
More Jaws. Nah, I don't want no off-brand Jawses.
And then the 2 Meg movies.
Nah, I don't want that. I just want brand name Jaws.
You want Jaws 17 from the Back to the Future 2 Bill.
Keep taking me to Amity, fucking Brody family or not, whatever the fuck. But I do like world building shit. Those movies, say what you will about what people will call the inferior Jaws sequels, which compared to Jaws, everything is inferior.
Yes.
But they did fucking keep the story going in a Marvel kind of way where it's like, hey man, the Brody family, that's what these movies are about. We keep going with the Brodies.
To the point where it's like Mama Brody is holding down the fort in Jaws 4.
Yeah, Lorraine Gary's like, finally, I get the spotlight on me. This time
it's my turn.
Yeah.
Bam.
All right, enough about Jaws. Banff Man, what do you got?
I didn't watch Jaws 2, but I did watch on Netflix The Shark Whisperer. Did you see that documentary pop up?
No.
It is a woman who swims with great white sharks, not in the cage. Quint would be very upset. But it's wild because it's her and her partner in open water with tiger sharks for half the thing. She's like, I'm going to go in and swim with great whites. And she's just there swimming alongside them. And the photography in it is worth watching. Just to watch that. Not even to realize that there's a crazy woman swimming with sharks.
Yeah, man, that's risky.
Yeah. No, that if you look up white people shit in the dictionary, swimming with sharks without cages is very high on the white people shit.
Hey, stow that racist shit. I'm a white guy and I wouldn't get in the ocean to save your life. I
on,
saw
buddy.
a movie when I was a kid that scared me the fuck out of the ocean. All right,
Bring
what
back
else?
Shark Whisperer. If you're into Jaws,
I'm
I
gonna check
recommend
it out.
Shark Whisperer.
Does anybody die?
Spoilers.
Somebody gets bitten. Like, you don't watch it happen, but they tell a story about a surfer who gets bitten by a shark, and like the
But
guy
I mean,
who
does the
saves
shark die? We don't have like in that octopus documentary. Doesn't the octopus die at the end?
No, but they tell this story about this tiger shark that got caught and it broke its jaw, and like
Aw.
the lady's husband has like all his spine is all fused. So they talk about like the relationship that this injured shark has with the injured husband, and then you see the shark and he's got like this giant fish hook in his mouth, and they're talking about how the shark's probably going to die, and like there's this whole crazy storyline about this sick shark in it, but ends up I won't spoil the end.
Spoil it.
So at the very end, like years later, they find the shark again, and the fish hooks out of the mouth, and the shark has survived.
Oh, or and hear me out. It's another shark.
No, it's she catalogs all of them. I think that one's tagged actually.
Well, that makes me fucking happy. I thought you were setting
Yeah.
me up for a lot of heartbreak, but hearing that, I'm glad you spoiled that. That makes me want to watch it now.
I thought it was going to be like a Freaky Friday shark thing where like the shark and another shark swapped bodies.
I'd like to be you for a day. That's the old Freaky Friday.
Yes.
I'm in. I'm gonna check that shit out, man. Sharks are still terrifying to me.
Yeah, I won't go in the ocean, but watching the video, it's it's like my version of a Saw movie, but it's real life. Where you're like, it's gonna eat her.
It was every fucking Shark Week they bring out new footage you've never seen before. Mm-hmm. Saw this one shot recently of slow-mo of this fucking Leviathan just breaching the water and fucking watching the jaws open, all teeth exposed, and then with a bite probably harder than a German Shepherd, I would bet. Fucking terrifying. Beautiful, but terrifying. But never once would it make it. All that does make me want to stay out of every body of water, including my shower.
Yes. However, we're going on a cruise next year.
That's right, kids. You want to hang out with Jay and Silent Bob on the open sea? It's Jay and Silent Bob Cruise Askew. Tickets at csmod.com. Me and Mark will be there, desperate to not be eaten by a shark.
Indeed.
February of 2026, kids. Get your tickets
on sale
at Jay and Silent Bob's cruiseaskew.com or csmod.com. Plenty of chances to see me and Mark, including Banff Man is about to put up a link for tickets.
Banff.
There he is.
Hey, look, I highly recommend. Tickets are selling already. We've got since I put the link up, we've sold, let's see, 8 tickets.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
We're rich.
Yeah. So we're about 1/8 of a sellout. So what are y'all waiting for? The last show we did prior to this one was, I think, last December.
A whole last year ago?
It was like 6 or 7 months. So you don't want to miss it, because you don't know when we're all gonna come back together. Yeah, December 17th was the last live one.
Kill Josh Petrino was a very talented individual who we're lucky to exploit him and his talents at Smodcast all the time. Worked on the Terrifier films, responsible for like some really cool shit. they didn't get credit for. He's asked in chatter, he said, Kev, how did you feel when you learned that Jaws was inspired by the New Jersey attacks in 1916? Well, I learned that shit in 1975 as a child during, when I was way interested in Jaws when the movie came out. And I'll be honest with you, I felt a sense of pride. I was like, yes, bitch.
Jersey
That's who we are. We're New Jersey. Only the strong survive. And
we find a way to get bitten.
Yes. That one of the boys, or the one who gets, and in the movie, they're like, shark in the pond. The version of that happened in real life in New Jersey was the shark got into this little river. It shouldn't have been there. Like normally you wouldn't find a shark there. They don't know if it's a great white. They don't know if it's a tiger or bull or whatever fuck, but took a kid down. And I saw that kid's grave when we were making Clerks 3. Because we shot in a cemetery, and we were looking at the stones and shit, and we happened upon this one where this kid was real young. I was like, "Oh, this kid was young," and then we saw whose name it was, and we looked it up, and we're like, "That's the little Kintner boy," but in real life, that was like the kid who got killed in Mattawan locally. Yeah, it's fucked up. I felt a sense of pride and also terror, but yeah, Jersey. The story of Jaws, Peter Benchley acknowledged he took it right from the Jersey shark attacks of 16. So Jersey represent. If you go to Smog Castle Cinemas, whether you're going to see the new Superman movie, whether you're going to go see the new Fantastic Four movie, whether you're going to see me do my birthday show on August 2nd, or see me do Beardless Dickless Me with Harley on August 3rd, on the wall in the lobby, one side is like a bunch of my characters and the actors who play them. On the other side are a bunch of actors, performers, icons that came from New Jersey. And Roy Scheider's up there because he's from New Jersey, but also Jaws is up there because fucking Jaws. There ain't no Jaws without those shark attacks in New Jersey. And we in Jersey feel a sense of pride about that, kids. 2 things we know in Jersey. 3 things. 1, fuck New York. No, I'm kidding. 1.
Yeah, that checks out.
I mean, not for nothing, especially on the road. But 1, it's pork roll, you piece of shit. Except no substitutes. I don't know what Taylor ham is and shit. And the other thing is Jersey, without Jersey, there's no fucking Jaws. That's simple. And that's what we hang all of our pride on, Mark.
I love it. It's
Springsteen a little, but mostly it's on the fact that Jaws happened there.
Yes. A little bit of wah-wah.
Yeah, a little bit, because I think that's more a Philadelphia thing.
Is it?
I think so. Somebody in chat tell me, is Wawa is a Philly company more than a Jersey company, isn't it? I mean, I'm happy they got them in Jersey. Don't get me wrong, because they sell a fucking hell of a pretzel. But I'm sure somebody in chat will disabuse me of the notion whether or not Wawa is predominantly Philly company. Like Sheetz is a predominantly Pennsylvania gas station. I don't see it any place but Pennsylvania.
I don't think I've seen one in Jersey, unless it's like super South Jersey.
Kill Josh Petrino says Wawa is totes New Jersey. Of course, it's in New Jersey. Kill Josh Petrino, who I was just blowing up. Now you fucking make me look like a fuck. But as Bob Perlitz, who is a Smodcastle regular kids, points out, Wawa was in Pennsylvania first.
Fair enough.
Yes, Wawa is Pennsylvania. So kill Josh Petrino. Don't jump on my dick so fucking quick. But we do have a lots in Jersey, man. But I believe, like, I grew up in Jersey, and I remember Wawa being more of a Pennsylvania thing first, and then eventually came to Jersey. Jersey had Cumberland Farms. In fact, that's what Quick Stop used to be. A little bit of Kev Smith trivia. How could we have a show without it? We've been talking about so many other people. I have to turn it in on myself. Quick Stop, the convenience store from Clerks, the movie I made many years ago that put me on the map, was originally a Cumberland Farms. And the Toppers, who own both Quick Stop and RST, they had RST Video originally. And then Cumberland Farms was going to close. They were going out of business. So the Toppers reached out to the Cumberland Farms company, and they were like, we want to buy the convenience store from you and just rename it. and they'd never done that before, but they're like, all right, go ahead. So because Cumberland Farms made a decision corporate wise that they never would have made prior, never did since, I one day got to make a movie. Isn't that crazy?
The loom of fate is a weird one indeed.
Thank you to the toppers. I don't know why I'm looking at heaven. They're still here on the planet. I guess I was looking more toward Manasquan. That's where they're from. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right, where are we going next, man?
We have one last piece of news.
Okay.
It's a sad one in that we are more often than not having at least one obituary per episode.
No, this is a week of life. Who died?
It's Life Day.
It's live, yeah. Fucking, we were about to sing our song and shit.
Jim Shooter.
Oh yes, this is very sad because without Shooter, you don't get the comics as we know them today.
You just don't. He went from a teenage writing prodigy to an editor-in-chief for Marvel Comics in the 80s, died after a battle with esophageal cancer at 73 years old.
Is that how he passed?
Yeah.
Esophageal cancer. That's unfair. No, there's no good way to go, but that sounds painful and shitty.
Yeah. But yeah, he in his early teens was writing for DC. Like he sent in fucking pitches out of the blue, got callbacks from Mort Weisinger, who would buy stories from Jim Shooter and put them on the payroll. He then, went over to Marvel Comics, and it's because of Jim Shooter that we have Secret Wars. It's because of Jim Shooter that Spider-Man had a black suit. And the Secret Wars, especially that very first 12-issue miniseries, blew up in the biggest way possible. Personally, that was the book that I read that got me involved in the Marvel Universe at all. If not for those 12 issues, then I don't become a reader, I don't become a writer, I don't become a fan of any of this shit. I would have been perfectly happy to read my Conan the Barbarian comics and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and The Tick all day long. But it was those fucking Secret Wars that got me into the superheroes as we know it.
Poisonous Plant 15 in chat says he put Claremont and Byrne on X-Men and Miller on Daredevil. That's who Jim Shooter was, kids.
And Walt Simonson on Thor.
Wow.
Yeah. Like that was really what he was good at, was finding talent and mating them with the books that they should have been on, that broke them wide. And Secret Wars was 1984. And that fucking changed the comics landscape in a big bad way. And then he went on to, stay at Marvel for a little bit. He was divisive. He was controversial. He kept a periodical company to schedules, and some freelancers just did not like it. His editorial style eventually drove Miller to DC. When it's because Miller decamped there, he gets to do Dark Knight Returns. He pushed John Byrne to DC, where that's when his Superman relaunch becomes
Man of Steel, right?
Yeah, becomes Man of Steel. But like, as with anybody, especially at that time, especially who was a bit of a hard charge, he rubbed some people the wrong way. But there is no Marvel Comics as we know it without the Shooter reign, which ended in 1987. I think after the new universe kind of imploded on itself, he would then go and launch Valiant Comics in the 90s.
That's right. He did Magnus Robot Hunter and
Solar,
and the other book as well. Yeah, I liked that fucking universe when they kicked open.
Yeah, then when he left Valiant, he started Broadway Comics, which I completely forgot existed. That Lorne Michaels wanted to do an offshoot of Broadway Video and become a comics company, and he did that for a bit. He wrote Legion of Superheroes in 2007. Wrote some books for Dark Horse in early 2010. I don't think his career ended the way potentially he might have wanted it, but without him, vastly different place.
Doubt Barisha in chat says Shooter also set up the revenue sharing with artists and writers at Marvel too, according to Rob Liefeld and his pod.
Wow. I mean, massive. Not enough
Claude to keep. Grenier says no Transformers without Shooter. Somebody else, I forget that it scrolled past, but he said, "Do you think they're going to dedicate Secret Wars to him?" I mean, they should.
They should. I mean, he will definitely be in the special thanks to, acknowledgments of, or whatever the sort of umbrella credit that they give to the creators. In the same way Superman had a special thanks to 40 or 50 people who over the years have written Superman, pieces of which James pulled for his movie. Hopefully they give Shooter a bit more shine than that, but who knows?
Jose Munster in chat says this is the firearm episode. James Gunn and Jim Shooter. I like it.
I like it. But yeah, so pour one out for Jim Shooter. If you were the kind of person who really was formed in any way by Marvel Comics, because it might not have survived to be the company, to have the IP, to be the sort of global force that it was without that stretch in the 80s, where he kind of changed the face of it by hiring the people who would help define it.
Rusty Trombone says Kevin is so out of the loop. Am I? What was I out of the loop on now?
I don't know. Unclear.
Feel like I was finger on the pulse today.
Mm.
Apparently, I'm out of the fucking loop.
Well, mentioned that Julian McMahon passed away.
We lost Dr. Doom.
We lost Dr. Doom.
Gentleman from Nip Tuck, man.
Similarly, with a quiet battle against cancer.
And Michael Madsen died as well.
Yeah.
You gonna bark all day, little doggy? Yeah, man. The part sucks. But you know what? They were here. They did great things. We got to enjoy them for a little while. They burned bright. And while they're gone, we get to enjoy their work.
Lives forever.
Yeah.
That's the news.
There it is, kids. There's the news. You wanted to know the goddamn news. Mark brought you the news.
We done it.
This is me at Comic-Con. Archie meets Jay and Silent Bob. Me and Jay doing a script reading. Come and join us. You may play Archie. Jay's doing a solo show, cute and funny show. He's very funny. Me and Ralph doing Hollywood Babylon. Look at this. Fat Man's up already. Look how fast Will Wilkins already put the new Fat Man show that we are doing on July 29th. Tickets at csmod.com. That's for Portsmouth. The Dogma show on August 1st. Look at that shit. Sold out, son. My birthday show. That's the signing at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash on August 3rd. And then there's Beardless, Dickless Me, also the night of August 3rd. And then at me and Harley. And then Yoga Hosers. Sit around, watch Yoga Hosers with me. It's only $5. I know everyone's like, you're overcharging. Probably right. All right, should we do some questions?
Let's do it.
All right, there, JC.
All right, we
Nicholas
got a few.
the Gamer 31 has been asking me all night in chat, so I got to hit him up with an answer. He says, "Hey Kevin, just curious, if you have any plans of coming to North Carolina, would love to meet you, brother. Nothing in the immediate offing, my friend, but I'm in Jersey on August 3rd. That ain't far from North Carolina at all, man. You can come up, see the Secret Stash, go to a comic book signing, go to Smog Castle Cinemas, watch me do a show. Anyway, do it up, JC.
All right. Let's see. Victor Venn diagram. What Superman character is most likely to be involved in a scandal? And what is this scandal?
What Superman character? Based on the movie we just saw?
Just in general, I guess.
Because if it was the movie we just saw, I'd say probably Eve Tessmacher. Getting some kind
toes, Eve Tessmacher.
Yeah, she got shrimp toes, apparently. In general, Cat Grant.
Mm. I mean, Jimmy fucking Olsen
In this
just
incarnation, Jimmy Olsen, man.
swinging dick all over Metropolis, like
JOF. Jimmy Olsen fucks.
with an X.
Yeah. And what would the scandal be for Jimmy Olsen?
Pregnancy.
Too much pussy. He's got too much pussy. Yeah, he had a party. Much people came by. That was a little bit of early Public Enemy for you kids.
He was banging cocktail waitresses 2 at a time.
All right.
I think Guy Gardner. It's profanity, like fucking toppling tanks with middle fingers. Like
I love
somebody's
that.
gonna be unhappy.
I thought that was so fun.
I laughed and laughed.
All right.
Servano wants to know.
In
now
chat,
that we
Bobo says Steve Lombard, sports betting. That makes sense. Beck Bennett, I thought, that he was in it very little, but I thought he was very Steve Lombardi, very Lombard-ish. I thought he did a great job.
Yeah. How many people fit on that T-ship? Did we have one more? All right, fucking bring Steve.
Let's see, Servano. Now that we have a Superman movie, what would you guys want to see or explored in the sequel?
The intergalactic zoo that he mentioned, which in comics can be found at the Fortress of Solitude. Brainiac.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps Brainiac is responsible for the garbled message. If they're doing Brainiac, came from Krypton, like in the animated series, and James seems to be very into the animated series, so that could be possible. I know a lot of people are like Doomsday. Like, I'm fine. We'll get there eventually and stuff. I've seen Doomsday quite a bit, especially for like a fairly new villain in the Superman pantheon. He's not that, it's been around for a minute since Superman died, but in terms of villains, of his rogues gallery, Doomsday was added very, very, very late compared to almost everything else. Other villains, I mean. Mr. Mixix Plitalik would be fun to watch David Cornsweet deal with magic. And of course, Darkseid. Now, I know everyone's like, hey, we had a Darkseid. Great. We had a lot of things and stuff. But I would like to see this Superman fight James Gunn's version of Darkseid, especially if it was like the animated series. Remember the animated series where Superman was like, my whole life, I've been living in a world of cardboard, always having to hold back unless somebody gets hurt. He's going, but you can take it, can't you, big boy? And he just beats the fuck out of Darkseid. Do that scene in real life, please. I think that's those are the ones that leap to mind. Brainiac, I'm very interested in, of course.
Yeah, same. That's where my head goes.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right, last question from Leo Hale. Kevin, you may have to be dodgy about your answer for this, but if you guys had $5 million to make a movie, what movie would you make and who would you want in the movie? So let's do fantasy, not whatever may be on the horizon.
Not reality. Clerks 2 was $5 million, and that had a dream cast for me. All right, so wait, $5 million to do whatever I want to do, or a secret?
$5 million to do anything.
Like suck my own tit? You'll give me $5 million?
Any movie. I mean, if you wanted to make a movie of that,
yeah, I mean,
we can do that for significantly less.
Like that, what'd that cost you? Like $50? I kept the rest. Watch, I can do it live. What would I do? Probably Moose Jaws. Somebody who's like, here's $5 million. I'd be like, thank God. Now it's time for Moose Jaws. It's taken me a decade and more than a decade to kind of get to this movie. So It's looking good, but still, man, having my own $5 million. It's the thing I regret about my career. No regret. I love my career. I love being Kevin Smith. But I realize if I'd been more successful as a filmmaker, then later in life I'd have my own money to make my own movies with. I wouldn't have be having to be go around and be like, hey man, will you finance this? So, I've never really thought about like being commercially successful. And it was only later in life that I'm like, oh, that would have been a benefit to being commercially successful. I would have made Moose Jaws a long time ago because I would have had enough money because I would have been successful and dot. So Moose Jaws.
Moose Jaws. I think I would, on the immediate horizon, is that money gets to pay for the rest of Deepest Darkest.
Nice.
Immediately. If it's not Deepest Darkest, there's a movie, there's a script that I'm in the middle of writing, based on a play that I saw last year at Hollywood Fringe that happened to star your friend and mine, Tiffany Smith, that I'm working on an adaptation of to direct. I would bankroll that movie because that is about a $5 million movie.
Nice.
So yeah, that one. I'm not like announcing a thing because fuck it, it's not real yet, but I would do that.
What do you think, Banff man?
I would open up 5 more Scum and Villainies.
Nice. Smart. There's the best use of $5 million right there. Oh my God. Toaster Poster pulled a total Marc Bernardin and put a brilliant idea just in public.
Oh.
Toaster Poster says, I would do Cinderella, but it's cosplay at Comic-Con. It's just sitting there.
Just sitting there.
Well done. I'm with you. I'd back that. Fuck Moose Jaws. That would sell.
Comic-Con Cinderella.
Was that 3 questions?
That's it.
Oh shit. Oh shit, kids. Did you have a good time hanging out tonight? Sure you did.
I did.
How could you not? Me and Mark had a good time. At one point, we had our largest audience live that we've had in a red hot minute. I think it was like 2,600.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And even now, it's crazy. Once we were done reviewing Superman, a bunch of fuckers dropped out.
I got
like, oh, I heard it. They're done. Or maybe they dropped out to go watch my hour and 20-minute review of Superman, available right here on my YouTube channel.
They wanted more soups.
Even more soups. I deep dive. I go scene by exhaustive scene by scene breakdown of the movie. We still got 1,500 people sitting here with us, man. So I want to remind those people, you want to come see me? You want to see me? You want to see me? I'm in Jersey. First, I'm in San Diego. Then I'm in Jersey. Tickets available at csmod.com. My birthday weekend, I'm going to be back there in the Garden State. And then a week after that, I'm going to be back at Smodcastle because the Smodcastle Film Festival is happening. That's right. A lot of Jersey this coming up in August.
I got to figure out when I'm coming back to Jersey.
Yeah, when do you want to come in and do a show?
Maybe late August.
Thanks for watching my dog, bitch. That was adorable. So adorable. Yeah, figure out when you want to come out. We'll go do a fucking show. Meanwhile, you want to see me and Mark do a show locally right here at the Scum and Villainy Cantina in Hollywood, on Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood, California. Tickets available right now at csmod.com. Or where do you put your tickets, JC?
Eventbrite.com.
Eventbrite, man. Come see me and Mark live. Drink blue milk and shit like that. The shows at Scum and Villainy Cantina are always special, kids.
And we do them every 6 months. So maybe
happens so rarely. Better jump on this while you can, man. We're going to be following up on everything that happened at Comic-Con.
Indeed. We'll tell some stories, some secrets.
And if you missed Comic-Con, well, why not go to Chronicon in Chicago, ladies and gentlemen? The 2nd annual Jay and Silent Bob Chronicon out there in Roswell, man. Rosemont, not
Rosemont.
Roswell. Rosemont Convention Center. That's happening in October, kids. Tickets available at csmod.com or chronicon4real.com. Mark's going to be there. I'm going to be there. I bet you Banff Man might go out. Maybe not because he's got fucking kids. And
I know.
just
I
like
should
Jenny,
come out,
you can't
though.
do shit. You should come out, man.
I was there last year. It was really fun. It was
a
weird
good time.
because, like, when I go to Comic-Con now, I'll get, like, Jen doesn't want to walk with me, especially if she's got the kids, because she's like, I don't want to be around you when people recognize you. But at Chronicon, it was amazing because everybody knew who I was. I took so many pictures. I felt famous.
Hell
This
yeah.
year, I'm toying with the idea if maybe bring in, like, some Scum and Villainy merch.
Smart.
Doing a little thing.
Have a booth and fucking sell shit. Set Jenny and the kids up behind the booth and fucking guilt people into buying shit. Like, look at these two babies we got to support.
Look
And
at
a
how
bar.
skinny they are. They
Buy
need
my
food.
shit so I can feed my kid. I'm feeding these kids blue milk and I'm running out.
I need the little fingers to make the tiny stitches of the pen.
Kids, the good times never end at a live Cantina show. Tickets at csmod.com or Eventbrite. What do they just enter?
Fatman 729. So Fatman, the date of the show .eventbrite.com.
Gonna do it.
Get ready for Comic-Con, kids. It's coming. And then after Comic-Con, we're coming hard to the Cantina to tell you what happened at Comic-Con. And while you're at Comic-Con, you can come see me do live shows. You can come see me do panels for Predator, Badlands, for Tron Ares, for what's Mark's panel called?
Making Maverick Media.
Making Maverick Media. A lot of alliteration. That's on Saturday. And if you go into Comic-Con, you're like, I don't need to fucking see you. You're right. It's Comic-Con. There's a zillion cool things going on there. Always something to see, man. This is where my calendar year begins.
And then you hit your Sammy Hagar birthday.
That's right. That's right, man. I can't drive 55. Double nickels, kids. Kevin Smith, 55 years old, still acting like he's 15.
That's how you stay young.
Forever young, in the words of Rod Stewart. Did you have a good time, everybody? Oh, shit.
What?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. You know our boy Deacon, Brett Deacon?
Indeed.
Always gets us 40X tickets.
Mm-hmm.
He set up 40X screening for me today. How do I say this? Which was it was fun, but very close to home. And I'll just leave it there. I may have more to say soon. And you may have something to see and feel in August.
All right. Now I'm curious.
If you're in LA, we're doing a thing because Crypto is a character now. We're doing a thing with Giffard Liquor to raise money for Humane Society.
Oh, nice.
And we're doing a thing called Dax and Dogs. So we have a crypto daiquiri, white crypto daiquiri with the Superman crest on it. And it comes with a gummy hot dog. And if you buy
what's a gummy hot dog?
It's like a hot
candy.
Yeah, like little, yeah. It's like that's our garnish. So Dax and Dogs, daiquiris and dogs. You also get either a free dog bandana or T-shirt if you buy one of the daiquiris. Well, supplies.
What does it say on it?
It's got a dog, a wiener dog actually. It says Dax and Dogs on it. Yeah.
Nice, man.
So you can buy it's a $20 or $25 drink. We donate a bunch of the money to the Humane Society. You get a free shirt. So come and hang out. Come do that. That started tonight. We're doing it for a week.
No. August 2nd, kids, my birthday. I'm the old man.
We'll have to celebrate early at the Cantina.
Still into childish things.
Aren't we all? That's why we're here.
Makes us happy. Makes us happy to be here. Kids, there it is, man. There's your fucking Fat Man Beyond for this week. Did you have a good time? I know I did.
Me too.
If you enjoyed yourself, it's nothing compared to the good time you'll have reading Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob. Look at this shit. That's a comic book. Look at this shit. It's I hear reports it's selling out in places. I keep seeing online people like they sold out of your stupid comic. I was like, you didn't have to call it that. Look at this fucking Fernando Ruiz did a really beautiful job. Look at that
Oh, it's lovely.
splash page of the Josie and the Pussycats concert. Crazy how well my characters blended with the Archie world, man. Nuts.
No.
Worth reading, kids. Check out Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob. It's no Superman, but what is? You know what? It's just like Superman, except cheaper. Did you enjoy yourself, kids? Did you learn anything? Well, it's not because I was involved. It's because you heard a thing or two from, well, before we go there, give it up for Bamf Man. Without him, you got no fucking show.
Hell yeah.
Give it up for Will Wilkins. Without him, you don't get to see the fucking show. He can't Bamf in, but
No, we stopped that from happening.
yeah. Dilf Man. He still rules. But there is no fucking show without that guy right there, man. The fucking ivory to my ebony, ladies and gentlemen.
As it ever was.
The McCartney to my
Lennon.
Stevie Wonder, right?
Oh, yes. Michael Jackson.
No, not Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson was say what you want.
It
But
still works.
Ebony and Ivory, wasn't that Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder? Yeah.
Yes.
Ebony and Ivory. Oh my God. Am I having one of those Mandela effect moments? No. Fucking that is who sings that, right? Ebony and Ivory. Paul McCartney and Stevie Wonder.
Yes.
I got real scared for a second where I was like, no. Like I was losing, like fucking senility was sinking in dementia. Fuck.
Yes. No, it seemed that just Paul McCartney was singing with as many black people as he could find.
We all know that people are the same wherever you go.
You are my Philip Bailey.
I'm your easy lover.
You're my easy lover.
She's the kind of girl you dream of. I can't get that high. Dream of getting hold of. Better forget it. Remember in Ted Lasso when he's getting dressed to that? Because earlier in the season, they're like, it should take no longer than Easy Lover to get dressed and actually show it.
Kind of girl you dream of. Dream of keeping hold of. Never forget it. You're good and greater.
We lost 50 people when we started singing. We better end the show. Kids, you want to come see us? Tickets are at csmod.com.
It'll be 2 hours just to that. Just singing fucking Easy Lover.
That's what we're going to do at the cantina. We're going to Google things live in front of you, and we're going to sing Philip Bailey songs. And then try to figure out who sang what.
Yeah. Was that Stevie Wonder?
Don't forget, kids, you can go watch the deep dive, painstakingly fucking thorough review of Superman by Stupid Man himself, Kev Smith.
Is truly.
Here in this show, if you just tuned in late, where the fuck you been? But you can hear what Mark's thoughts were.
Indeed.
Spoilers. Hated it. No, Mark loved it. There were a bunch of people in chat who were like, take it down, Mark. And I'm like,
he's gearing up. I watched him. Look at him cook.
He liked it. He had a good time.
I liked it. Sorry, guys.
And you could still like it and still be like, yeah, this part I didn't care for, this part I didn't care for, and stuff. These are, picking that shit out of pepper at that point, for heaven's sakes. Like fucking this was a utterly watchable fucking summer movie. Good times for you kids. They had air conditioning. It was great.
Like popcorn.
Oh, fucking A. Did I have popcorn? Yeah, I did have popcorn.
Hell yeah.
Jay Loom keeps asking in chat, can I get a shout out from Kevin himself? No, Jay Loom, you cannot get a shout out from Kevin Smith.
Shut it down, J-Lo.
You just did. All right, kids. There it is.
Deuces.
I'm gonna go. It's 11 o'clock at night on the West Coast. It's like fucking 2 a.m. on the East Coast. Responsible people have jobs to get to in the morning.
I know. This is a Monday night.
It's a Monday night, man. Thanks for hanging out with us, kids. That was good times, man. Nice to see that people still give a fucking shit. Made me feel relevant for a couple hours.
And I suppose when we do the show on Tuesday, the 29th, we should be talking about a certain fantastic film we might have seen on the other side.
That will have been out by then.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It opens the Friday of Comic-Con.
Ooh, so there you'll see me and Mark talking about Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. I was at Disney today to go over the panels that I'm hosting at Comic-Con on Friday. Both Predator Badlands and Tron Ares. I was with the folks from the marketing and shit like that. And so I was like, all right, who here's worked on FF? And the lady to my right, she's like, I was like, how is it? She goes, it's fucking wonderful. I was like, ooh, yes. I mean, granted, she works at the company, but she don't have to say that. She could have been like, no. She could have tempered my expectations, but she was like, no, it's wonderful. And I said, we like that guy. I said, Matt is a good boy. He was on our show after WandaVision.
We'll have to see if we can get him back.
Yeah, we have to see if we can get him back. And so he's been a little preoccupied. But yeah, it'd be nice to jump him on. But I said, he's a good kid. They're like, he is a good kid. That movie looks wonderful. So we'll be talking about it. Meet us at the Scum and Villainy Cantina. When? July what? 20 what?
29.
29th. Let me make sure I'm not doing something. I know tickets are on sale. Let me just double check. I was like, that sounds familiar. Nope, I'm free, kids. So excellent. There you'll find me, right next to Mark. For a second there, it was just going to be you, Mark, and Bamf Man. But I'm going to be there too. There it is, kids. There's your Fat Man Beyond for this week, man. For Fat Man Beyond, I'm author of Archie Meets Jay and Silent Bob, Kevin Smith.
And I am drinker of off-brand Celsius, Marc Bernardin.
Tune in next time, kids. Same fat time, same fat channel, smodcast.com or
youtube.com/Kevin Smith.
Jeff's Kiss, good friends.
Look.
Ooh. This is from the cat. Greetings, everybody, and welcome to the AKA Ask Kev Anything. Every saga has a 10-year anniversary, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens when Jay and Silent Bob get old. I'm Kevin Smith.